I made a fortune selling electronic waste, earning $1 billion. But the buyers weren't jealous at all. Instead, they urged me to raise the prices. Even the national headlines featured my poster on the front page of the top 10 young philanthropists. But originally, I was just a bankrupt boss with a debt of $5 million. On my way to being chased by creditors, I unexpectedly awakened the superfactory system. Thought I was finally going to reach the peak of my life. Never expected that the system's newbie package required a starting capital of $300 million. Right at that moment, an idea suddenly popped into my mind. Since I can't afford high-end, why not make low-end products instead? I noticed the downgrade icon on the system interface and instantly came up with a good idea. That was to cut down the specs. So I got right to work. First, I started with the most critical part, the processor. The original Snapdragon 8 Justice was way too high-end. Couldn't afford it, so I switched to something cheaper. Even the Snapdragon 660 from 4 years ago in the supplier directory was too expensive. So I switched to a completely low-end MediaTek chip that brought the price down by more than half. The 2960 by 1848 resolution and 120 Hz high refresh display cost nearly 2,000 yuan just for the screen. Had to replace it, so after sorting by price descending, I instantly picked an outdated 72OP low refresh large screen. Warehouse clearance stock. To others, it's commercial junk, but it only costs 40 yuan. Going with this 4-channel stereo speaker. Cheap knockoff machines. Big speakers still work just fine. 16 GB RAM with 512 GB storage. Way too much, so chopped it down by half again. The 3 GB plus 32 GB combo only cost 20 yuan. Other things like 12 megapixel HD wide-angle cameras, 5G communication module, alloy casing. I scrapped them all. As for the outer shell, couldn't afford the mold fee, so I had to collect stock shells with similar sizes. After a lot of screening, finally found a brushed metal tablet shell that had been stockpiled by a big supplier 5 years ago. The shell was priced at only 20 yuan. Materials were determined, and the superfactory system automatically improved them, so that even with crazy downgrades, it still worked as a normally functioning tablet. After precise calculations, the cost price of this modified Samsung S8 tablet was an epic 96 yuan, but I wasn't satisfied yet. Once the retail price exceeded triple digits, 99 yuan just sounded way better. After factoring in shipping fees and retailer commission, the 96 yuan cost left no profit at all. Didn't meet the system requirements. Cut everywhere I could. Already nothing left to cut. Only option was to haggle suppliers for rock-bottom prices. Hey, Mr. Lee, do you still have those 72OT screens? Quantity is limited, though. I'll take them all then? Give me a cheaper bundled price. Mr. Zhao, I'm ordering a batch of small-size storage cards. Make it cheaper. I need at least 5,000 sets. Several rounds of phone calls and relentless bargaining finally got the cost down to 83 yuan including tax and labor. Retail price 99 yuan. After factoring in wastage, each tablet can still net over 10 yuan profit. I immediately put down 500,000 yuan for materials. Bought the entire set of raw materials. Able to produce 6,000 sets of modified tablets. Just need to sell them quickly to earn system points and recover funds. And a positive cycle is established. That afternoon, the first batch of materials arrived. The product needs a catchy name. We'll call it Batty Z1Z, which basically means the cheapest. The system randomly generated a decent packaging design, so I sent it straight to the printing factory to start production. The speed from concept to production was simply miraculous. My factory's assembly lines are stuck in the millennium era. Workers use manual skills to screw everything together. Thankfully, all Batty factory workers are old-timers who appreciate me. The one thing we lack least is experience and responsibility. Defective rate was kept extremely low. Over 1,000 units finished in one day. In hand, the finished Z1 tablet feels heavy because the casing is old stock, so weight reduction can't be achieved. It's pretty hefty when held. But after all, the original blueprints were for an 8,999 yuan flagship. Even after modifications and downgrades, thanks to system optimization, the build quality is still solid. Watching videos on the 720T and playing Link games are effortless. The performance is way smoother than other off-brand tablets out there. Product is made. Time to start selling. This is stock from a few years ago. Already outdated. Try listing it on the second-hand market. We only sell new products here. Channel manager heard the specs and instantly sneered and rejected. I was grinding my teeth in anger. Although the parts are old, they're all brand new. Not everyone in the world is sitting in Starbucks using an Apple laptop. There definitely are people who need low-end tablets. Since channels won't take it, I'll go retail. No money for online traffic. So I opened a store right in my rundown factory. Live streaming sales, with the camera pointed at a real tablet playing a video. The stream was as cold as an ice cellar. A few people came in and saw the 99 yuan tablet and assumed it was a scam. But way out in the remote 10-mile village in the deep northwest mountains, most people here are impoverished. Average monthly income is under 1,000 yuan. Villager Jin Qiao just finished farm work with her relatives. Her husband passed away unexpectedly 2 years ago. She single-handedly farms, raises chickens, and supports her 9-year-old daughter, as well as taking care of elderly parents. Due to COVID restrictions, her third-grade daughter has to walk several miles each day just to borrow a classmate's tablet for online classes. Anytime it's mentioned, she always looks full of envy. It's become an unshakable ache for Jin Qiao. But she simply can't afford a device costing over 1,000 yuan. At noon, she went to the village chief's house for water and happened to catch the chief's wife scrolling on her phone. Just as Jin Qiao was sighing about her fate, the chief's wife landed in my live stream. On screen, I'm shouting Batty Z1 tablet computer. 99 yuan delivered, shipping included. Legit factory 1-year warranty. Limited quantity, so act fast. You can buy a tablet for 99 yuan? Jin Qiao asked in disbelief. The chief's wife didn't have much experience with online shopping either, but chimed in. Probably domestic brands are cheaper. Jin Qiao excitedly said, "Can you help me buy this tablet? I'll pay you back. Yesterday's eggs I sold finally got me 100 yuan together. I'll use my money, help you buy it." The chief's wife decisively clicked the yellow button to place an order. Back at the factory, my phone vibrated, and the system notified me of an exciting first sale, IDZ1. First order sold. It could be shipped today. 7 days. No questions asked, returns supported. I happily shipped it over, but got no reply from the buyer. Didn't worry about it. Packaged the brand new tablet for delivery. Thanks to this move, managed to sell over a dozen units throughout the day. My throat was burning by night, couldn't shout anymore. I casually edited a video and posted it to my social accounts, etc. The next morning when I woke up, I opened the back-end dashboard. I was so shocked I almost dropped my phone. It went viral overnight. The Z1 tablet actually sold over 300 units. At the same time, in a high-end community in Shenzhen, a well-known streamer who specializes in bizarre electronics was doing unboxings and teardowns for fun. Brother G was scouring the internet, looking for outrageous products with viral potential. As expected, my $99 tablet that clearly advertised legit warranty on the homepage, promising to compensate for any fakes, successfully caught his attention. Even got an order on Pinduoduo, and specifically asked for local pickup. I watched the back-end notifications go off non-stop. Didn't think much and just gave the factory address. Had a courier pick it up. An hour later, Brother G's livestream chat exploded. "Guys, the $99 tablet is here. Let's unbox it together." He tore open the simple cardboard box on camera. Inside was a brushed silver metal case with carefully polished seams. But the moment he pulled the tablet out one-handed, the surprising weight pulled his wrist down. It felt like holding 2 solid bricks. Brother G felt the unexpectedly decent build quality. His mocking smile froze on his face. Damn, this tablet's got something. I saw Brother G digging through the box on camera.
He actually found a big charger,
which seemed pretty unenvironmental. Look, a $99 tablet even comes with a charger. I wonder if Cook would be embarrassed to see this. While I was joking about Cook, my eyes suddenly widened. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Wow, guys, check this out. What kind of port is this? I put the charger port up to the camera. The chat immediately blew up. Never seen this before. What port is this? So ugly, isn't that a mini USB port? This is the kind of port from 10 years ago. Things like MP3 South, MP4S, digital cameras, PSPs, all use this port. This is ancient. Haven't seen this in years. It's now confirmed. This is literally a tablet from over a decade ago. The chat roasted me for stepping into a pit. I gritted my teeth. Alright, let's see what this old relic is really like. If it doesn't turn on, I'll file a complaint. Press the power button. Suddenly, 4 big white letters DZ1 lit up on screen. It actually turned on. The chat fell silent. Whoa, it boots up. Interesting. Just for this boot up screen. $99 is worth it. $1.99 to experience what an antique tablet looks like. Definitely a great deal. It took over half a minute to boot. Solid blue desktop. Not even a wallpaper. Just basic apps like camera, calculator, etc. Really bare bones. I swiped the screen and suddenly froze. The touch was unexpectedly smooth, and it's running Android 13 released just this year. No way, a $99 antique tablet. How does it have the latest Android 13 OS? Can this hardware even handle it? I opened the settings. The specs made me even more confused. A MediaTek processor from 5 years ago, 332GB storage, 2000 mAh battery. Only a third of normal tablets. Extremely underwhelming specs. But for basic tasks, it's not laggy. Smoother than quite a few tablets that cost $1,000. I ran a benchmark. The scores were terrible. Photos came out so blurry they looked like mosaics. Only good for scanning QR codes to download apps. Streaming music on NetEase Cloud. It made a distorted sound. Almost blew out my eardrum. The sound quality was harsh but super loud. Isn't this ridiculous? With this sound quality, even construction noise next door sounds better. Yeah, I'd rather hear attention car repeatedly than listen to the Z1 play music. People in the chat kept roasting, but no one picked it up for themselves. It's only $99, so I downloaded some video apps. Video calls mostly didn't lag. Just switching apps gets laggy when multitasking. The 30F screen was weird for me. Brother G tried Genshin Impact. Good idea. I downloaded Genshin and tried running the game. Took several minutes to load. The tablet got hot once inside. Graphics stuttered like a PowerPoint slideshow. Totally unplayable. Trash tablet. Can't even run Genshin. Even the nitpicker was stunned after saying that. Then everyone realized, of course a $99 tablet can't smoothly run Genshin. I closed Genshin and tried some simple games. Those all ran smoothly. After an hour of testing, I gave an objective review. In my opinion, this tablet is only suitable for very niche users and electronics tinkerers. Great value for light use. Even just as a clock on your desk, it's not bad. If you need more, you're just going to regret your life. This tablet is interesting. Maybe I'll get one to mess around with. With so many flaws, it's definitely electronic waste. You buy it, you're getting scammed. There are better things to do with $99. You could even get a family meal at KFC. Most people in the chat hated on the Z1. They're used to $1,000 phones. No way they'd accept these specs. 2 days later, the postal courier walked miles through the mountains and finally delivered it to Jidajo's house in Silicon.
He was picking it up for Jin Kiao.
Jidajo rushed the package over to Jin Kiao's house. Jin Kiao? Jin Kiao? Your tablet arrived. I brought it. Jin Kiao was tending the vegetable garden in the backyard. Rushed over excitedly. The package is here. Should we open it now? Jidajo asked. Of course, let's open it, Jin Kiao said with a smile. He washed his face and led Jidajo inside. A small, skinny girl ran out. That's his daughter in 3rd grade. Jiaye, Mom. Is the tablet you bought for me here? Jiaye asked hopefully. Yep, it's here. Let's check it out together. Jin Kiao poured water for Jidajo and carefully opened the package with scissors. Jiaye stared unblinking, her eyes full of longing. Opened the foam. The white DZ1 tablet was revealed. Jiaye murmured the name softly, trying to remember it. Jin Kiao didn't dare tear off the seal forcefully. Jidajo smiled and took over. It's fine, let me do it. You won't break it. Unwrapped the packaging. Jiaye's eyes went wide. She reached out. Jin Kiao quickly stopped her. Don't touch, what if it breaks? Let's wait for you to remember. Teach us how to use it. No worries. Electronics aren't that precious nowadays. Everything comes with a warranty. Jidajia pressed the power button. The DZE logo lit up. And the startup sound was super loud. The distorted sound quality I've complained about during my live streams turns out to be especially pleasing to them. The sound is so crisp and clear. All three said in unison. After turning it on, there was no Douyin or Kuaishou. The big feet planned to download them. But then they realized there's no internet in the house. He turned on his phone's hotspot, relying on the mountain's mobile signal tower. They successfully got online, downloaded the apps. Jinhua watched silly jokes on the tablet, laughing so hard she couldn't close her mouth. Finally, the household has a large appliance that produces sound. Mom, how can I take online classes with this? Xiaoyaya asked curiously. Jinhua finally remembered the real reason. The big feet quickly downloaded DingTalk, but realized they don't have a phone number. Can't register, the big feet said. Forget it. Let my husband get you broadband fusion today. There's rural subsidies. No service or deposit fees. Lowest speed plan is only 20 yuan a month. 2 OMBPs is enough for you. Awesome, let's do it. Jinhua gritted her teeth and agreed. The big feet taught the mother and daughter basic operations. Xiaoya learned super fast. Soon started teaching her mom. The big feet declined Jinhua's invitation to stay, got up and left. In the afternoon, village chief Zhang Fugui, the big feet's husband, also the village mobile agent, came over with internet cable and modem, and gifted Jinhua's family a cheap SIM card. The modem comes with a router. Plug it in and you're online. Check if you can get online. Zhang Fugui asked. Xiaoya opened Douyin and it refreshed normally. Then she went to register for DingTalk. But they didn't have a phone. Zhang Fugui put the SIM card in his own phone. Helped them finish registration. Remember, the password is 123,456,789. Don't change it. Otherwise, you'll have to verify the phone again. Zhang Fugui reminded. Also told Jinhua to buy a phone soon. It's too expensive. I'll wait till there's a cheaper one. Jinhua said shyly. Xiaoya logged into DingTalk. Joined the class group. Finally able to attend online classes at home. She hugged Jinhua and shouted, "Thank you, Mom." "No need to thank me. It's because this tablet was cheap," Jinhua replied. Zhang Fugui was shocked to hear it was only 99 yuan. He asked in disbelief, "Isn't it 990? It's 99 yuan with free shipping." Back home, Zhang Fugui picked up the tablet and browsed. The more he looked, the more he liked it. Wow, electronics are so cheap now. Tablets used to cost several thousand. Now they're sold at cabbage prices. I'll buy a batch later and give them away at the village party. That'll be so impressive. After getting back, he posted it in his WeChat moments. Attached the store link. People from nearby villages all added his WeChat. After seeing it, everyone questioned it. Zhang Fugui explained to each one. Seeing this, everyone just placed orders directly and spread the word. The Z1 sales immediately skyrocketed. I was busy at the factory packaging products. Suddenly got a notice from the backend that the product was sold out. I was stunned. Checked and found that over 1,000 units were sold out. That one sold a few hundred units. In just 5 days, over 3,000 units were sold. The inventory was almost depleted. I quickly asked computer-savvy staff to act as temporary customer service. Adjusted the remaining stock. Focused on listing the product. At this moment, workshop manager Song Dae came to me. Said we're out of raw materials. Suggested we restock quickly. All right, I agreed instantly. Conservatively, we'd need to make another tens of thousands to meet demand. I called the supplier. Stock parts, they were eager to clear inventory. Restocking went smoothly. Only tablet shells from before were out of stock. I contacted the original manufacturer to custom order 50,000 because they already had the molds. Saved the cost of making new molds. Only added a few yuan to the cost. I wasn't planning to raise the price. Intended to use Z1 to build reputation. Also added 5 new color options. Used the money from sales to pay for materials. Ordered 50,000 sets of parts. Hired more people to expand production. And posted a pre-sale in the store. Promised to start shipping in 3 days. After finishing everything, I checked the system rating. Currently, the system for ByDZ1 tablet The positive feedback rate is 98.9%. Based on sales volume and revenue, currently has 5 points earned. Sold 5,000 units, but only got 5.7 points. I checked the redemption options. Only can exchange for outdated electronics blueprints. The system also offers 3 tiers of lottery draws. 5 points can draw a regular blueprint, and 100% guaranteed to win. I asked the system, how likely is it to get something good? The system replied, not very likely. They're usually just blueprints for outdated products from years ago, like Xiaomi's 6 smartphone, Sony film camera, etc. I immediately felt awkward, decided to save my points. Wait until I have enough to exchange for something actually useful. Meanwhile, discussions about the Z1 online got more and more heated. After Jack's unboxing video went viral, content joking about the 99 knockoff tablet flooded the internet. Many netizens tested it themselves, complained it doesn't run popular games. The camera is blurry, no expansion slot, old Bluetooth version, retro charging port. They just classified Z1 as electronic waste. I'd hate to get this tablet even for free, it'd just take up space. Honestly, maybe good enough for watching low-race movies. 4K video? No way. You're dreaming upstairs. The screen is only 720p, how are you gonna watch 4K? This tablet is only fit for pressing down instant noodles. Don't diss it. When it comes to pressing noodles, Kindle is king. This tablet isn't even as good as a Kindle. Netizens joked, I'm Batty the showman. Some Batty are fighter jets. Some Batty make trash. Really can't compare. But when they found out Z1's total cross-platform sales had reached 5,000 units, with a positive rating over 98%. They were totally shocked. They saw most positive reviews just said simple and really cheap. Guest buyers hadn't had time to comment. Also dug out my factory's debts of several million. On the verge of closing down. Concluded we were cashing out before going under. Later found out. The ones cursing hardest were second-hand electronics sellers. After Z1 sold like hotcakes, their used tablets priced under 400 yuan stopped selling. So they intentionally smeared Z1 as e-waste. Shame of industry comments everywhere. Controversy brings fame anyway. I didn't bother with any of this. Just focused on production. After starting the pre-sale, quickly sold 25,000 units. All 50,000 pre-sale units sold out. At this moment, tech teardown influencer Lei Shuhao tried to ride the trend. Spent 199 yuan buying a Z1 from a second-hand platform. The second-hand price was actually higher than retail. He streamed the teardown for netizens. Today I'm going to tear down the Batty Z1 tablet everyone's been talking about. I spent a whopping 199 yuan just to buy this version. He opened up the tablet. First, he saw the shrunk 2000 mAh battery. A third-tier brand battery. R&D just put in a processor and retro charging port. But when he got to the motherboard, he paused. This tablet's design is really clever. The technology used is definitely not from a few years ago. It's based on the latest design concepts. I've seen something similar when disassembling Samsung tablets. That's weird, really weird. This circuit design shows. This tablet is definitely not old inventory from years ago. It's a redesigned circuit board. They just sourced some leftover parts and made the ultimate budget tablet. The more he took apart, the more amazed he was. The design here is really ingenious. And even though it's a cheap tablet, the build quality is solid. He didn't see any sloppy workmanship at all. He gave the Z1's build quality a 95 out of 100. He also said if any of my friends or family needed a tablet for light use, he'd recommend the Batty Z1 tablet. After all, it's only 99 yuan. If you stop using it, it's no big deal.
He even calculated the cost.
Found out that making the same tablet himself would cost over 300 yuan. He guessed Batty Appliance Factory isn't losing money for publicity. He estimates the cost of the Batty Z1 is about 99 yuan. They're not making money selling it, just trying to build their brand. After the video went out, netizens started mocking. Even Lei Shuhang got flamed. But in remote villages, Z was a hot commodity. For just 99 yuan, you get a tablet for watching videos and chatting, and attending online classes. It's a great deal for low-income families. Everyone asked their neighbors for the link. Those who missed out rushed to pre-order. Some netizens didn't believe the sales were real. reported us for faking orders. Some radical fans even smashed their Z and made videos cursing our factory should shut down. Those videos even trended on social media. Workers told me about it, but I had no time to care. Shipping reminders were drowning me. We had to finish producing 50,000 pre-sale units quickly. Songde came looking for me. The factory's too busy to handle it now. Should we hire temporary workers to get through this? I thought about it, decided to expand and hire more staff. Only hiring permanent employees over 35, with contracts and full social benefits. My dad reminded me back then. Older employees value their jobs more. They're more responsible, and it helps them solve employment problems. With the first batch of Z1 sales, I made over 50,000 yuan. The net profit was enough to pay employee wages. I even promised my creditors I'd repay all debts with interest within 2 months. Suppliers are willing to keep supplying us. All I want now is to produce as fast as possible, make more money, pay wages, and clear external debts. Meanwhile, Brother G started live streaming again. Netizens told him Z12's price was up to 199 yuan. He checked. Found the tablet still selling for 99 yuan. But it was out of stock. You guys fooled me. This tablet is just for fun. Buy it to play around with. No one actually thinks it's good, right? But when he saw the Pinduo Duo sales break 10,000, he was stunned. No way, they must be faking views on this tablet. And juicing up the statistics. If this tablet sells over 10,000 units in a week, I'll eat poop live. Take a screenshot. You can provide fresh ingredients when the time comes. All right. Don't say such nasty things. I feel keeping the Z around is useless. Decided to give it away. But none of the kids or young people in my community wanted it. The young people kept calling it a knockoff tablet. I only use Apple products. Stepping outside the community, I heard the recycling guy shouting for old phones. Even broken phones can be swapped for stainless steel wash basins. I walked over. Hey sir, I have a tablet here. Will you take it? Of course I'll take it. Can it turn on? The old man asked. Yes, it can boot up. It works normally. Then I can give you a medium-sized wash basin. I held the basin and smiled bitterly. Netizens were even more convinced the Z1 sales were fake. The more I thought about it, the more I felt Z1 was disrupting the market. Decided to make a show critiquing knockoff electronics. Netizens all supported this idea. But in Jinqiao village, there was nothing but laughter. Jia Ye used the Z1 for online classes. Her enthusiasm for learning kept increasing. Jin Qiao used the tablet to play Beijing opera for bedridden elderly. The old people finally smiled. Jin Qiao felt grateful. She wanted to thank the manufacturer. Ji Dachao said that's easy. Just leave them a good review. Jin Qiao was curious what a good review was. Ji Dachao said it's like when you buy something, and the old shop's owner is nice. You leave a note at their door saying something nice about them. Future customers can see it too. Okay, I'll leave them a good review, Jinqiao said. Ji Dachao opened the purchase link, left a positive review with pictures on Douyin store. As the second batch of Z1 tablets were shipped, more and more rural users left photo reviews. All were genuinely thankful. 3 days later, I started a live stream exposing knockoff electronics. Opened with the line, knockoff electronics. Don't be fooled by the cheap price. Really, don't buy them. Poor quality is bad enough, but a lot are also safety hazards. Today, we'll look at what's on the market. Knockoff electronics to help everyone avoid pitfalls. The livestream room's popularity is skyrocketing. I'm the first to bring out the Batty Z1. Speaking of the Batty Z1 tablet, I actually have a bit of history with it. A lot of people bought it after watching my live stream. This one's on me. Today I'll make it right. Let's take a look at its flaws and potential risks. I open the Z product page. 99 yuan with free shipping. Over 10,000 units sold. Looks refined on the outside, but it's weak inside. Don't be fooled by the low price. If you buy it, you'll end up like me, swapping it for a stainless steel wash basin. But when I read the reviews, the very first one left me speechless. It's a heartfelt, positive review. My family lives in a remote mountain area in the northwest. My daughter needs to take online classes. She used to walk several miles to a classmate's house to borrow their tablet. It was inconvenient. My daughter really wanted her own tablet. But other tablets cost over 1,000 yuan. It's just too expensive. Luckily, I stumbled across the Batty Z1 tablet. It looks nice. The sound is loud and the picture is clear. And the price is affordable. I could get one for about 100 yuan. Now, my daughter can attend online classes at home.
Plus,
The elders now have something to pass the time with, thanks to the Batty factory. Thank you, Z1 tablet. I'm from the mountains. Not good with the internet. I had someone else type this message for me. If the factory sees this, please give me an address. I'd like to mail you some local eggs, just to show my gratitude. In the photos under the review, a humble setting, barely any furniture. A little girl sitting on a wooden bed, holding the tablet and smiling. The bedridden elder looking at the tablet, grinning from ear to ear. Jinquao, the user, standing outside the house, with a basket of local eggs beside her. The livestream chat slowed down. Only shock and ellipses remained. I silently scrolled the page. More rave reviews caught my eye. There was a bedridden person with disabilities, using the tablet to pass the time. There were elderly villagers buying tablets, so kids could watch cartoons together. Each review was sincere and simple, while the few critical ones were all from urban tech enthusiasts. I finally understood what we consider electronic waste to remote mountain residents can help a child's dream come true and bring happiness to elders. In the live stream, a viewer quietly commented, "Did we misjudge the Z1 tablet?" I stared at the screen, and for the first time, began to waver inside. Seeing Jinquao's comment and photos, the livestream room fell silent. I finally understood what we see as e-waste for low-income groups can help children pursue an education and give elders something to enjoy. They never needed 60 FPS on Genshin Impact, just a cheap, usable device, and the Z1 delivered exactly that. After a long pause, I apologized solemnly to the camera. I apologize for my lack of thoroughness. The Z1 tablet isn't really e-waste, because we haven't received any quality complaints so far. Even though its specs and performance are poor, it still made tablets accessible to people in the mountains. It's a small achievement in its own way, just a stroke of luck. No company would intentionally design a tablet especially for the poor, right? I think so too. They wanted to sell junk products, but it ended up becoming a surprise hit, bought by mountain residents. Online skepticism remained. The belief that cheap things can't be good runs deep. It's hard to change that mindset immediately. I didn't say much more, just apologized and ended the stream. Need some time to process all this. Meanwhile, the buyer review incident went viral, sparking discussions about the needs of low-income groups. That's progress too. At the same time, the finance lady at my factory reported with a smile. The second batch of Z devices is already sold out. 35,000 units sold with over 3 million in revenue, and nearly 500,000 in net profit. Enough to cover employee salaries, relieve our debt pressures, and it's only been 10 days. That's almost what my dad made in a year at a factory in Switzerland. The workers were all talking about it. Everyone praised that I could lead the factory. After finance left, I checked the system notification. A total of over 35,000 CE tablets sold this time, with a 98.7% positive rating. Reward: an automated component production line. Points accumulated: 40. This production line can make basic small components, enabling self-sufficiency, reducing costs, worth at least 1 million. Workshop director Song De looked at the new equipment and sighed. The young boss really knows what he's doing. Our factory is about to take off. I nodded and smiled. With the system's help, I'm full of confidence. We're still hiring for customer support, so I'm handling it for now, replying to positive reviews in batches. Thank you for your trust. Batty will continue to provide you with quality service. But for Jinquao's comment, I replied thoughtfully, I'm very glad. Batty's product brought you a great experience. We'll keep working hard to provide even better products for everyone. While going through the reviews, I noticed many rural customers were asking, does Batty have an affordable TV? They think the tablet screen is too small, and it's hard on the elders' eyes after a while. Some even wanted to watch matches during the World Cup. Right then, I found my next direction. The next product would be a budget TV. I pulled up the system's marketplace, used 40 points to redeem the Sony X2559 OG TV blueprints, The system immediately added a challenge task: produce a TV with over 96% positive reviews and monthly sales over 50,000 units. Get a rare blueprint as a reward. Monthly sales of 50,000 won't be easy. But from the Z1, I found the answer: ultra low price. I started modifying the blueprints. Simplified version: swapped the 4K screen for 1080t. Changed OLED to a budget domestic panel. Used a low-cost MediaTek processor from inventory. Reduced RAM to 3 GB. Cancelled the stereo speakers. Replaced with a cheap HDMI port. Kept AB ports and one USB port. Trying to cut costs to the max. I contacted supplier Uncle Lou for cheap screens. He said there was a stockpile. 20,000 pieces of 41-inch panels. 3 years in storage. 55 yuan each. Sold at scrap price. I agreed right away. The system can adapt the circuits for the screens for free, plus the new components that just arrived. The production line costs dropped even further. For other parts, I screened options through the system and picked the reliable but unknown rock brand. Placed an order for 50,000 sets. They had a big stockpile, so the price was great, and they promised to deliver within a week. The factory hired over 30 new full-time workers above 35 years old. I sent out the TV assembly drawings in advance. Let senior employees train the new ones to prepare for the peak production season. At this time, Miss Ma reported she had recruited a graphic designer. Rewarded a recent graduate from the Art Academy. I gave him his first task: design a teaser for the new BD41 TV. The price should start with 1 and the next 2 digits. Greet the factory director. Jiang Yixing nervously greeted me. Now, I'm assigning you your first task. Design a teaser for our online shop's new product. It's called the BD41 TV. Okay, write the product name on the teaser image. Add a picture of the TV. As for the price, just start with 1. The next 2 digits are question marks. After calculating the cost, I set the price at 148 yuan. The cost is 101 yuan. Each unit makes a profit of about 40 yuan. The lowest market price for TVs of the same size is at least 499. This price is extremely competitive. Jiang Yixing was shocked when he found out. What? 148 yuan? How can you make money with that? My family bought a Konka TV. Even the cheapest model was over 1,000. The lady in the next office laughed. See, you didn't know that, did you? Our Batty Z1 tablet is only 99 yuan. They all sold out quickly. The feedback was great. Don't worry, Director Zhou would never sell at a loss. We even generate revenue for the factory. Soon we'll all get raises. It's settled, 148 yuan. Design the promotional image for the genuine product by tomorrow. I expect to produce the first unit within 5 days. I said okay. I'll make sure to design the image as soon as possible. Jiang Yixing released the teaser that day. Although it didn't get much attention, rural customers who couldn't buy the Z1 quickly noticed. There was a lot of discussion. Some people questioned the price. And Z1 users said they were excited. Digital teardown blogger Lei Shuhang also saw the post. He promised to do a teardown as soon as it's released. I ordered another 10,000 sets of Z1 components to replenish stock between manufacturing runs. At the same time, I focused entirely on TV production. The staff worked in 3 shifts. I also stayed at the factory, supervising production. Inspecting quality. The first batch planned was 20,000 units, limited by working capital. We could only expand sales after payments came in. At 8 a.m., the 148 yuan price was announced. The internet went wild. Most people thought it was a pricing mistake or a scam. But Z1 users were all ready to buy. Sales began at 10 a.m. Orders flooded in instantly. By evening, the first 5,000 units had sold out. I urgently added another 10,000 units for sale. Changed the shipping time to 72 hours. Workshop supervisor Song De quickly informed me. At the current pace, raw materials would run out in 3 days. I had no working capital. I had to contact Uncle Liu and the Panshi supplier. After seeing the sales figures, they agreed to supply goods in advance, solving the urgent problem. But the inventory manager reminded me, we were out of stock on 41-inch screens. We could only custom order them. I contacted the screen manufacturer. They quoted 200 yuan per custom 41-inch screen, which was way over budget. Even 32-inch standard screens cost 110 yuan. I had to give up. Just as I was worrying, Uncle Liu called me. He said there was a batch of 70,000 unsold 42-inch export screens. He told me to contact Lin Shuai. I dialed Lin Shuai's number.
He said this batch of screens was originally for export to India.
But the buyer demanded a huge price cut, and now they're stuck at the port. He was willing to sell at a low price. I personally went to the port to inspect the goods. System tests showed a 100% pass rate. After some tough bargaining, I got all 70,000 screens at 65 yuan each. Paid a deposit first. Settled the balance after payment recovered. Hello, I heard you have a batch of 42-inch TV screens. Yes, how should I address you? My name is Zhou Yan. And you are? My name is Lin Shuai. How much per screen? What kind of panel? 100 yuan each. This batch is custom 42-inch TV screens. 60 Hz IPS panels. That's too expensive. 50 yuan each is reasonable. You're driving a hard bargain. If I sell for 50 each, I'd be losing my shirt. No way. 85 each. 60 yuan each. Boss Joe, come up a bit. I'd be taking a big hit. It'd be so embarrassing to go back. I'll take all of them for 65 each. Deal. After Lin Shuai visited my factory, he put his worries to rest. We signed a formal contract. I immediately modified the design through the system. Changed the screen to 42 inches. The system triggered another lucky bonus. Provided the matching mold for free. I named the TV Batty 41 Pro. No price increase. It's a benefit for users. Sales of the TV exceeded 10,000 units in just 2 days, getting closer to the monthly goal of 50,000 units. To expand our influence, I customized a stamp. Extra quality without extra cost. Check out Batty. Shopping bags. Partnered with an agricultural tool e-commerce platform. Distributed them for free in the suburbs and group rentals. Low-cost promotion. Soon Lei Shuhang received the TV. Started a teardown live stream. First, let's look at the packaging. Pretty standard. Cardboard and foam. The accessories inside are simple as well. Just a power cable. One HDMI cable. There's even a retro AV cable. And a remote control. 2 AAA batteries. A TV stand. He reviewed the appearance. The look is really plastic, why? Or rather, it's all plastic. And not even good material. Feels kind of rough to the touch. Is this intentionally made to feel matte? But if they improved the shell material, the TV would feel a lot nicer. He rated the appearance 5 points. After powering on, Lei Shuhang found it takes over 10 seconds to boot up. Screen colors are distorted. Sound is harsh. The remote responds slowly. Internal storage is full. But you can connect external devices via the USB port. After testing, he summarized that this TV's performance is poor. Picture and sound quality are lacking. But its advantage is obvious. That is its price, 148 yuan. If you just need a TV for some sound, then this one isn't bad. Cheaper than many old second-hand TVs. My opinion is, this TV is only suitable for a small group. Buy according to your needs. After the video was published, it stirred up heated discussion online again. Meanwhile, TV sales from my factory are still steadily climbing. Isn't this basically a trash heap? TV from Shenzhai? I think so too. The box and the tablet look the same. It's only good for being cheap and nothing else. What can you even do with this TV? Listening to the sound is torture. Color distortion. Does not support high refresh gaming. There's ghosting. Buying this makes you a sucker. Netizens' criticisms came as expected. City families are used to high-quality TVs costing thousands, so it's hard to understand the needs of low-income, mountain and rural families. It's just cheap and watchable, that's all. Village Chief Jiang Fugui of Shili Village was one of the first buyers of Batty 41 TV. His family has a 60-inch expensive TV, but he can't bring himself to buy another for the bedroom. Good experience with the Z1 tablet made him trust Batty. After the TV arrived, he immediately set it up.
His wife Ji Dejiao saw the logo
And asked, "Isn't this the same brand as the tablet?" "How much?" 148. Jiang Fugui replied. Ji Daijia exclaimed, "That's really cheap. Our 60-inch TV cost over 4,000, right? Even the spare change is more than the Batty TV. Zhang Fugui connected to the internet using a mobile set-top box. The couple watched for a few minutes and felt that at this price, there's nothing to complain about. They don't care about appearance. Saving money is king. Satisfied, he took photos and posted a recommendation for villagers on social media. Many villagers in need followed suit. Ji Dejia remembered that Jin Qiao's elders hurt their eyes watching the tablet, so she specially went to tell Jin Qiao. Jin Qiao immediately got interested. A 148 yuan TV. And it's from Batty. Jin Qiao wanted to wait till she sold some chickens first. But Ji Dejia quickly offered to lend money. No need to wait, I'll lend you. Just pay me back later. Jin Qiao felt embarrassed and said thanks a lot, Ji sister. I'll be able to sell chickens in a week. We'll pay you back then. But Ji Dejia was stunned when placing the order. It upgraded so fast. Do you want the upgraded version of the TV? The version my family bought seems to be sold out. Sure, Batty products are good. Anything's fine, I'm not picky. Jin Qiao replied. But it's still on pre-sale. Says it'll ship within 3 days. Batty products are good, but you always have to wait. Jin Qiao said. When a lot of people buy, it's bound to get popular. Shows everyone likes this TV. You won't lose by buying it. Ji Dejia immediately helped Jin Qiao place the order. Mountain residents' recognition of Batty stands in sharp contrast to netizens' ridicule. Meanwhile, Shenzhen streamer Jie was live. Someone told him. Batty launched a 148 yuan TV. Just as his stream's viewers dropped, Jie immediately ordered the pre-sale Batty 41 Pro. At that point, Pinduoduo monthly sales already hit 7,000 plus, which made him really curious. 3 days later, the TV arrived. Jie started an unboxing live stream. You can see there are very few accessories. The color scheme isn't great. The casing material is poor. After powering on, the rough sound quality got roasted by viewers. The color distortion is obvious on screen. Jie compared it to his 100-inch Samsung TV. Regardless if it's a PS5 or Xbox series, game experience, picture quality, and sound quality, Batty gets utterly crushed. Viewers even mocked it as e-waste until it got connected to a Sony. Due to the machine's own output limitations, the difference between the two TVs wasn't that big. Jie joked the Switch is truly the equal game console for all. Nintendo. If players want to save money, choosing this Batty is okay. Halfway through the live stream, Jie got a call from an old friend and quickly ended the stream. Forgot to turn off the Batty TV when leaving. 3 days later, after sending his friend off and coming home, he realized the TV had been on for 3 whole days. Afraid it might catch fire, he rushed in, but found the TV completely intact. The case was just warm. In his panic, he tripped over the power cord. The TV flipped face down onto the tiles.
He thought the screen would lock up.
But after picking it up, not a single crack. No way! Even after a fall like that, the TV isn't broken. Amazing. I think Batty is the king of TVs in the TV world. Can use it to crack walnuts or block bullets. Viewers were completely stunned. After testing, Jie couldn't help but give a thumbs up. Found the biggest advantage of this Batty TV. It's shock resistant. After this live stream clip was edited and circulated, Batty TV got popular again. Many bought it just for its durability. Especially sports fans and couples who argue a lot. Teardown blogger Lei Shuhang stepped in again. Confirmed that the screen material is special and of high quality. Pushed the popularity even higher. Within Shili Village, more and more villagers bought Batty TV. Jin Qiao also received her delivery. With the help of her daughter Zhao Ye, set it up in the elders' room. 2 bedridden elderly people watched the opera on the big screen. Beaming with joy, Jin Qiao thanked Batty from the bottom of his heart and prepared to post a buyer review to show his gratitude. Scenes like this were unfolding in various villages one after another. Meanwhile, Zhang Shuqi, an intern reporter for the Shenzhen Business Daily, was drawn by the news of Batty's 148 yuan TV topping the sales charts. With no advertising, over 50,000 units were sold in a week, with sales reaching 7.4 million yuan. This was too staggering for an unknown small factory. He immediately went to the Batty factory for an interview. He was very surprised when he met Zhou Yang. Hello, I'm Zhang Shuqi, an intern reporter for the Shenzhen Business Daily. Hello, I'm Zhou Yang, the manager of Batty Appliances. Jiang Shuqi originally thought Batty was a messy knock-off factory, but found the factory clean and production well organized, with new component production lines as well. During the interview, he asked, "What is the purpose of Batty producing such cheap appliances? Will you lose money?" Zhou Yang smiled and said, "Our goal at Batty is to let people everywhere achieve appliance freedom. As for losing money, that is impossible. Although we don't earn much, we still make a profit through high volume and low margins. We won't lose money." Currently, there are attacks online claiming that the products Batty manufactures are electronic junk. What is your take on that? Believe that the people's eyes are sharp. Our Z1 tablet sold over 50,000 units, and people are still looking to buy it today. We sold 50,000 of the 41 series TVs. I'm sorry, today that number has surpassed 60,000 units, and it's still in short supply. That explains everything. If everyone recognizes these appliances, could they really be junk? The buyer reviews from users in mountainous areas shown by Zhou Yang deeply moved Jiang Shuqi. Finally, he asked, "Besides tablets and TVs, will Batty produce other appliances?" "Of course," Zhou Yang said. "We at Batty will continue to research and develop whatever the people need. That is what we will produce." Jiang Shuqi's report was soon published. Combined with previous public opinion, Batty became a phenomenal sensation. It also caught the attention of industry peers. Xiaomi, which focuses on the low-end market, took the biggest hit. The manager of Xiaomi TV called a meeting of engineers.
Tell me,
"If we were to produce this 41-inch TV, could we compress its cost to within 148 yuan? The engineer frowned and immediately shook his head. "Based on our current processes and raw materials, it is impossible. The lowest we could compress it is over 500 yuan. Adding other expenses, it might reach 600 or 700. With a selling price of 1,000 yuan, the net profit per unit is about 300 yuan. To make a 41-inch TV with a cost under 100 yuan, we would have to use the cheapest components, and they would have to be obsolete models from years ago. But we have R&D costs. If we include everything, selling it for 148 yuan would definitely be a loss." The manager gave instructions unhappily, ordering, "Go buy a Batty TV immediately to study and see how they do it." The engineer was shocked after dismantling the Batty 41 Pro. Its internal construction was solid. The circuit design even showed traces of high-end TVs. It wasn't the knock-off quality they had expected, but they still couldn't figure out how Batty compressed the costs. They didn't know that Zhou Yang's circuit designs relied entirely on the system's help, saving huge amounts in R&D costs. By this time, sales of the Batty 41 Pro had exceeded 80,000 units, crushing all other low-end TV brands within half a month. Zhou Yang finally received a system prompt. Challenge task completed. Monthly sales of the Batty 41 series TV exceeded 50,000 units, with a positive rating above 96%. Awarded 1 rare blueprint. Awesome! Zhou Yang excitedly opened the blueprint. System prompt. Obtained a limited edition blueprint for a higher twin-tub impeller washing machine. This unreleased higher impeller washing machine was shelved due to high costs and poor market positioning. Zhou Yang checked and found the original cost was over 500 yuan, which didn't fit his extreme value for money strategy at all. Just as he was about to reduce the specifications, the system prompted again. Ding! Trigger the new user guide task. A blueprint shouldn't just be about cutting down. Technology is about innovation and application. This revision needs to be more innovative than the original design and must be recognized by the market. Monthly sales reached 30,000 units. Positive reviews above 96%. You can reward a set of shell injection molding production line. Note that you need to prepare the required factory in advance. With your own injection molding production line, you can completely solve the shell supply problem. Zhou Yang immediately decided to complete the task. He removed the original aluminum alloy shell, electronic control panel, and replaced it with hard plastic and cheap mechanical knobs. Swapped imported motors for domestic ones. Kept high power to meet rural needs. Also simplified the spray structure using water pressure. Cut down costs. For innovation, Zhou Yang called village users for research. Learned they often use washing machines to clean vegetables, which makes the machines easily break. He got an idea. Added a filter device to the washing machine's water outlet. Set up a vegetable washing mode. But the system judged it as not innovative. Turns out there were similar products already. Then he tried adding a dishwashing function. After several revisions, eventually dropped back washing of dishes. Included precautions in the manual. Finally got system approval. Ding! Washing machine design completed. Added dishwashing function. Recognized as new function. Please name this washing machine. Zhou Yang named it Batty 3X washing machine, meaning it has 3 functions: wash clothes, vegetables, and dishes. System randomly triggers lucky critical hit, gifting the corresponding molds. Late at night, Zhou Yang checked and already had 61 points. Enough to redeem an ordinary blueprint.
He decided to save up first.
Seeing Batty's development momentum, he felt much more at ease. 1 more month. He should be able to pay off the 5 million debt. He still spent the night on the folding bed in the office, waiting to start purchasing washing machine parts tomorrow. Begin a new journey. Next day, I started selecting accessories for the Batty 3X washing machine. I handed the blueprint to a local contract factory, chose the cheapest and most durable materials, but their production orders are tight, so I have to wait a few days. To cut costs, I have to be patient. Fortunately, the factory is currently focused on producing TVs, so it's not delaying things. I secretly made up my mind. This will be the last time I use an external contract factory. Once the system rewarded production line arrives, I won't be limited by them anymore. Small panel accessories. I ordered in bulk from Uncle Liu. Each only cost a few cents. I first ordered 50,000 sets. Will adjust based on initial sales. The motor takes up the biggest portion of the cost. Uncle Liu also has ready-made ones. I just want them cheap, durable, and powerful enough. While choosing, the system suggested the Jinyu 73W, a type motor meets requirements. I immediately ordered 50,000 sets. Got a deal at 31 yuan per unit, plus shell steel body at 28 yuan per set, and including screws produced on our own line, rubber tubes, and other small parts. The cost of Batty 3X washing machine is finally kept around 75 yuan, based on my style. Pricing at 99 yuan is just right. A 3-in-1 washing machine for under 100 yuan definitely has good competitiveness. I had designer Zhao Zhang make promo graphics, but it'll take half a month to launch the new product, all delayed by the injection molding factory. Meanwhile, Batty 41 TV sales are still booming, selling another 20,000 units in a week. For over half a month, 3 major platforms combined sold 100,000 TVs. It became a phenomenal product, watching myself rake in cash. Lots of knockoff small factories followed suit, rolling out cheap TVs at 12013 OYUA. But the quality of these products is worrying. Problems appeared fast. One day during streamer GJ's live broadcast, a fan called "Don't Step on My Chelsea" kept spamming the chat, furiously called the host trash, said he only shills garbage products to make money. The quality is so bad. I want to complain about you. Expose you. GJ was baffled. Are you sure you didn't get it wrong? If you think the game is bad, you can ask the manufacturer for a refund. Don't Step on My Chelsea said, "What game?" "I'm talking about the TV you sold last time. It broke after just a few days. It won't turn on. Tried to return it. Customer service ignored me." Batty TV. GJ was even more baffled.
He's never sold Batty products.
Last unboxing was self-funded. Never got paid a penny. He patiently tried to explain, but the other guy wouldn't listen at all. Didn't take long before they disappeared. GJ also received a warning from the platform. Coincidentally, another user in the livestream called Refund said the Batty TV they bought had a yellowish frame. Suspected it was secondhand. GJ felt something was off. Added them on WeChat. After seeing the photo, he instantly recognized that wasn't Batty's product at all. GJ asked for the online shop's address. Found out that, although the product title had Batty, there was a hidden Batty at the end. The page was marked as Batty TV, but the device had no logo. Even the Batty trademark on the box was made to look like Batty. It was blatant mislabeling. GJ immediately ordered one. Found the shipping address was in Guangxi. It arrived in a day or two. At the same time, Many complaint posts had already appeared online, claiming Batty TVs had poor quality, selling inferior as genuine. Some irresponsible media even used forum screenshots to make news, maliciously smeared the brand. I quickly noticed the problem. Many customers had bought knockoffs, couldn't find after-sales service, and ran to our Batty store angry, demanding a return. Running to our Batty shop demanding a refund. This affected our sales. We must clarify the situation. I immediately had the store label with "Beware of fake products." Highlight the Batty trademark. Also contacted Zhang Shukyu. Asked him to help refute rumors. Hello, reporter Zhang. I invited him to visit the factory again. When Zhang Shukyu arrived,
He saw a Batty TV on my desk.
another knockoff product, selling for 128 yuan. 20 yuan cheaper than our genuine product. Right in front of him. I peeled off the sticker on the device. Underneath was the old and closed Ruhua brand trademark. It was a 6-year-old second-hand Ruhua TV modified. Just added a fake trademark and sold as new. Zhang Shukyu immediately recorded it, published a report, warned consumers to avoid pitfalls. But things haven't settled. Someone else accused me of dumping at low price, violating anti-unfair competition law, and distorted facts saying my price was too low, which gave shady sellers an opportunity. Not long after, GJ's Batty TV arrived. When he did an unboxing live stream, he frowned immediately. The parts just screamed poor quality. TV shell had a pungent odor. Screen flickered when turned on. Colors were distorted. When the movie plays, the characters still have a red outline. Netizens joked that he should try using a magnet, so he tried it. The whole screen got completely messed up. It looked like a funhouse mirror. Jack contacted customer service. The other side pretended not to reply when faced with a complaint. It wasn't until shopping on Pinduoduo that he found out. The store had already been shut down due to too many complaints. Jack couldn't let it go,
He live-streamed smashing the knockoff TV.
but unexpectedly discovered the production date on the circuit board was from 2012. Turns out it was a refurbished second-hand item from 10 years ago. He called on everyone to buy from official stores right there during the stream. He also said people should live within their means when buying electronics. If money's tight, go with Batty. It's not like you can't negotiate the price. If money's not an issue, Samsung or Sony is better. But there were still netizens who looked down on Batty. Plus, the business bureau was coming to inspect. A lot of people were waiting to see me fail. Zhang Shuking couldn't take it anymore. She went live to show buyer reviews for Batty. The first one was a photo of an elderly couple. 2 bedridden seniors wearing worn-out tank tops, watching opera on TV, with truly genuine smiles. The family lived in absolute poverty. The table holding the TV was falling apart. One corner was propped up with a notebook. The live stream immediately went silent. Zhang Shuking kept scrolling. She saw another comment from a rural teacher. I speak with an accent. It's hard for the kids to learn proper English pronunciation. Batty's 41-inch TV only cost me a week's living expenses to use for teaching. After standard lessons, the kids finally got their pronunciation right. In the rundown classroom in the photo, the kids crowded around the Batty TV to read out loud. The desks and chairs were all handmade from bamboo. Enthusiastic netizens started leaving comments wanting to send supplies for the kids. Looking at these buyer reviews, the trolls quietly left the live stream. Zhang Shuking uploaded the live stream recording online. It quickly went viral and brought a wave of attention to Batty. Netizens wondered why I hadn't responded. So Zhang Shuking came to my factory for the 3rd time. But she saw the business bureau's law enforcement car parked at the entrance. Someone had reported us. They said we were disrupting the market by dumping products at low prices. That's unfair competition. Please cooperate with our inspection. The officials explained why they were here. They wanted to audit our accounts. I felt confident and at ease. I led them to check both accounts and the workshop. Every single raw material invoice was traceable and justified. The tax was also in order. The inspectors were stunned. When they calculated it, the cost to make each TV was only about 100 yuan. There was absolutely no dumping at low prices. The team leader asked why there were no R&D expenses. No R&D expenses? I calmly replied, this TV was designed in my spare time. I didn't spend any extra money. If you really want to count it, Just a few sheets of paper and half a can of ink. That's about 0.8 yuan. All the inspectors were collectively speechless. They couldn't find any evidence of wrongdoing. They could only leave. Afterward, Jiang Shuqing came in to interview me. She asked why I never defended myself against the online slander. Why get angry? Arguing back and forth with trolls and hired haters would only play into their hands. I smiled and said, most of these trolls were probably sent by competitors. Cutting off someone's income is like killing their parents. If I'm making money, of course they'll try to smear me. Jiang Shuqing suggested I should respond in some way. I thought that made sense. I decided to register a personal account to interact with netizens. I even leaked some news about a new 3-in-1 washing machine. 3 functions. Does it wash, spin, and dry? Jiang Shuqing asked. Nope. The other 2 functions are for washing different things too. I deliberately kept it mysterious. She asked if I had paid off the 5 million debt yet. I replied that half the external debt was settled. Over 100,000 TVs sold. 40 yuan profit per unit. That's a net profit of 4 million. 2 million was used for raw materials. The other 2 million paid off the debt. After Jiang Shuqing left, I went to inspect the workshop and warehouse. Most of the washing machine components had arrived. Only the shells and inner drums were missing. I paid for priority delivery. Finally, I managed to move up the production schedule. 4 days later, the first batch of shells arrived. I immediately had the whole factory switch production lines. The first 3X washing machine rolled off the line that very day. I filmed a tutorial video demonstrating how it washes clothes, vegetables, and dishes. Once I confirmed there were no issues, I uploaded the video to the online store. The Batty 3X washing machine went on sale nationwide. The price was set at 99 yuan. A buying frenzy broke out instantly. Within half an hour of launch, sales exceeded 1,000 units. I later found out the hot sales weren't just because of the attention. It was also because it washed vegetables. Also because of the vegetable and dishwashing functions. It meets the needs of urban residents. Home buddies and office workers aren't willing to buy dishwashers costing thousands. A 3-in-1 washing machine for 99 yuan perfectly fulfills their needs. Plenty of renters and landlords are placing orders. Jiang Fugui from Shili Village also bought one for a few buddies. This washing machine is only 99 yuan. It can wash vegetables and dishes. From now on, we won't argue about washing dishes anymore. His buddy placed an order right away. Even though shipping takes 72 hours, he's not anxious at all. Ben Gowa from Honky Village in the north is a farmer raising twins all by himself. His relatives ordered him a 3X washing machine. He signed for it after coming back from the fields and immediately tested the vegetable washing feature. While the machine washed vegetables, he cooked for the kids. After eating, he used it to wash dishes and laundry. He got to rest an hour earlier than usual. Seeing the clean clothes, his eyes welled up with tears. This washing machine really saved him a lot of hassle. The washing machine soon sold out. The workshop's 3 shifts still couldn't keep up. The workshop manager came to ask me for an expansion. I could only agree for now. We'll talk about it again later. The external debt hasn't been paid off. No funds available for now. The production line is understaffed. So we had to launch a pre-sale link first. Brands like Little Swan, Haier, and Xiaomi were panicking. Their low-end top-load washing machine sales plummeted. They all ordered 3X washing machines to reverse engineer them because pre-sales required a days-long wait. Disassembly blogger Lei Shuhang wanted to dismantle one too.
He couldn't get a unit in stock.
So he paid 299 yuan to buy an unused second-hand machine on Xianyu. Lei Shuhang started a live-stream disassembly. First, he tested its functions. Laundry performance was average. It could clean hard vegetables and fruits, but it would ruin leafy vegetables. Dishwashing only cleaned one side. There were also issues like loud noise and basic materials. After opening it, he found the motor only cost a few dozen yuan. He really couldn't figure out how I got the cost down to 99 yuan. In the end, he commented that cost performance was its biggest highlight. If you value practicality, buying one isn't a loss. After major manufacturers got hold of the machine, their engineers found after disassembly it had simple construction and basic materials. Though they could make a 100 yuan machine, most likely they'd lose money, and it would affect their high-end product sales. In the end, They decided to suspend low-end top-load washing machine production and keep high-end models to avoid competing with Batty. Haier was the most surprised. They discovered the internal design of the 3X washing machine was almost identical to one of their unlaunched, archived models. Nearly a perfect match. They hurried to check the blueprints, afraid the drawings had been stolen, but watching orders skyrocket in the back end. I knew in my heart, Batty had secured its footing once again. Haier staff found their blueprints untouched, though puzzled by the similar structure. Their bigger headache was the Batty 3X washing machine, impacting their low-end top-load machines. After Batty launched, their low-end models sold less than 20 units a week, with lots of returns as well. Eventually, Haier decided to clear out low-end top-loaders, focus on high-end products, and avoid competing with me. The competitors backed down, but netizens weren't convinced. Many cursed Batty 3X as electronic junk, accusing me of dumping and blocking innovation. A netizen posted a video praising the washing machine's usefulness. Comment section was full of trolls spamming. After work, I drove my dad's old 8-hand minivan back to my wife's 60-square-meter home. While scrolling on my phone, I saw a troll comment saying the designer was crazy. Who comes up with washing clothes, vegetables, and dishes together? I replied to the netizen using Batty CEO's account. Hello. I'm Zhou Yang, factory director of Batty. Let me explain something. The washing machine merely offers 3 cleaning modes. No one is forced to mix all 3 together. If you think it's unhygienic, just use the laundry mode. Or only use it for washing fruits or dishes. Then there's no problem. The other person replied, who are you? Pretending to be Batty CEO now. Why give me features I can use on the washing machine? I responded, the washing machine is just a tool. How you use it is up to the customer. It was you who said it was unsanitary to use all 3 modes together. Now you want to use them together. Do you want to use them all at once or not? The troll fired back. You're telling me what to do. I'll use it however I want. Anyway, putting 3 modes together is a dumb design. I replied, if the 3 modes bother you, you can return the product to the manufacturer. We will send you a washing machine with 1 or 2 features removed. Batty X and 2X washing machines are worth having. This reply got likes from netizens. But trolls still said Batty's quality was bad, that it's electronic junk. I continued replying, if there's a quality problem, you can contact customer service for a solution. If it's our fault, you are free to request a replacement or refund. Regarding the claim it's electronic junk, I added, if a washing machine sells over 10,000 units, and it's still called electronic junk, then what about washing machines that sell just dozens? Or a few hundred every month? If you insist on judging by price, then you shouldn't drink tap water costing a few yuan per ton. That's junk. Go buy imported spring water for thousands per bottle. That shouldn't be junk. I also admitted. I acknowledge Batty washing machines use some old parts. Some components are from older models. But it's all just to control costs as a last resort. Anyone can pile up materials. I could design a washing machine costing over 1,000 yuan. But you know how it is. Some accuse me of dumping, ruining the market. I retorted, you overestimate Batty. We made cheap, low-end products to satisfy users who want low prices and enjoy services. They urgently need functional and affordable appliances. No matter how good Huawei and Apple are, not every Chinese person can own one. Our Batty philosophy is to help Chinese achieve appliance freedom. These words got a lot of agreement, and the trolls couldn't argue anymore. As 3X washing machines sold like crazy, other brands sub 1,000 yuan top loaders were taken off the shelves.
Batty
Basically monopolized the market at this price point. But soon after, some small factories followed suit with 68 yuan 5-function washing machines, called Black Swan or Small Fish, etc. Avoiding copyright issues, many people ordered them for cheap, only to find out they were shoddy products. Size was only half that of Batty. Single tub with no spin dry, rough material and strange odor. The 5 functions were really just 1 stirring mode. Couldn't clean properly and easily broke. After-sales service basically non-existent. Many users suffered losses silently. That's when they realized Batty 3S was a decent knockoff, though sales took a minor hit. There were still thousands of orders daily. Customer service was flooded with shipping requests. Workshop's 3 shifts still couldn't meet demand. Workshop manager Song Di applied for bankruptcy again. I decided to buy a second-hand production line. Thinking of the well-connected rich kid Lin Shuai, I gave him a call. Lin Shuai quickly replied that his friend has an appliance production line. It's old equipment from a factory that went bankrupt and was used to pay debts. The asking price was 500,000 yuan, but no one wanted it. You can go take a look. I got in touch with Lin Shuai's friend. Went straight to the processing factory in Dongguan. Found a semi-automatic production line in the warehouse. It was even newer than the ones in the factory. It was just poorly maintained. When negotiating the price over the phone, I offered 400,000 yuan. The other party immediately agreed. Just asked that I cover the shipping. I paid 400,000 yuan in cash. Spent 9,000 yuan to ship it back as fragile goods. Unloaded it in the factory yard overnight. The next day, Songda saw the production line. He was so happy he couldn't stop smiling. Immediately arranged staff for moving and installation. Assembly completed in 2 days. But there was no response after powering it up, just as Songda was about to hire a contractor. The system prompted a minor wiring fault detected in the production line. Would you like to fix it? I chose to fix it right away. A few minutes later, the production line started up normally. Songda kept praising me for being able to fix it. I could only laugh it off. Songda promised to tune it in a day and start production the next day. Output could double. Our production problem was finally solved. Once, a landlady was renovating a rental property. Struggling to afford electrical appliances, she saw Batty's cheap products and immediately placed an order. Also asked friends and relatives to help snatch the limited 3x washing machines. Saved tens of thousands in expenses. Even gave suggestions to customer service, telling us to develop air conditioners and refrigerators. Kiao from Sebe 851 farm saw someone showing off the Batty 3x washing machine in their moments. Learned that it's only 99 yuan. Immediately bought 2. He feels sorry for his wife doing housework in cold water all year. Her hands crack and bleed. After the washing machine arrived. It's great for washing vegetables and dishes. His wife initially thought it was expensive. Found out 2 machines were less than 200 yuan. Was both shocked and thrilled. Kia even posted a positive review with photos. It got bumped to the front of the Pinzhou Duo buyer reviews. After streamer GJ recovered, he specially bought Batty 3X and a 68 yuan knockoff washing machine. Doing a horizontal screen live stream, the difference was obvious. Batty was securely packaged. Decent feel, but the knockoff had flimsy packaging. Strong chemical smell, single tub, no spin dry. Weak power, doesn't clean well. So-called 5 functions are just hype. GJ commented that Xiaoheye is pure electronic junk. Add 30 yuan and buy Batty. It can handle everything. Even though some netizens still have bias. Batty 3S sold over 150,000 units in 20 days after release. Sales broke 150,000 units. I also completed the system task. Received a set of advanced injection molding production line. I immediately held a meeting. Appointed Songda as deputy factory director, in charge of production. Also asked him to clear out the new factory building, to install the new accommodation production line. Now we can make our own product shelves. Further reduce costs, Songda reminded me. The factory doesn't have an R&D department. It's all up to me alone. Too tiring, I smiled and said, it's fine. With the system, it's more reliable than a professional R&D team. Then I started planning new products. System statistics show customers have the highest demand for 2-wheeled electric vehicles. Because after national standards were implemented, ordinary electric vehicles became too expensive. Working class people can't afford them. I saved up 135 system points. Exchanged them for the Batch S2 mountain off-road electric bike blueprints. Planning to modify it into a low-cost, new national standard electric vehicle. After consulting supplier Uncle Liu, one chose a 105 yuan graphene battery, balancing safety and cost. Also secured a batch of cheap high-power motors, using the blueprint's gear-shifting function. Meets national standards, and can climb slopes at a constant speed, matched with 68 yuan wear-resistant tires, plus self-produced shells and small parts. Total cost calculated at 267 yuan. Priced at 299 yuan. Launched a premium long-range version at 389 yuan. Named it the first model of the 21 electric two-wheel series. I instructed Songdi to gradually shift production. Let designer Zhao Jiang create the promo images. After the announcement of the new national standard product from Batty, some accused me of raising prices and cashing in. There were loyal users defending us, and quite a few people planning to buy an electric bike. We're choosing to wait and see. I'm not bothered by it. Every Batty product launch is accompanied by criticism. As long as the product works well, sales will speak for themselves. People at Haier discovered the blueprints were intact. Although puzzled by the similarities between the two product structures, they were more troubled by the impact of the Batty 3X washing machine on their low-end top-load washers. After Batty hit the market, their low-end models sold less than 20 units in a week, with many returns. Eventually, Haier also decided to clear out their low-end top-load washers, focusing on the high-end, to avoid competing with me. Industry peers yielded, but netizens weren't buying it. Many people called the Batty 3X electronic junk and accused me of dumping sales at low prices and stifling innovation. After work, I drove my dad's tiny eighth-hand van back to my old 60-square-meter apartment and scrolled through my phone. When I saw a troll comment saying the designer must be brainless, washing clothes, vegetables, and dishes in one machine. What were you thinking? I replied using the Batty CEO account. Hello, my friend. I'm Zhou Yang, factory director of Batty. Let me clarify something. The washing machine simply provides 3 cleaning modes, but never forces anyone to mix all 3 together. If you feel it's unsanitary, you can just use it for laundry, or only for washing fruits or dishes. That solves the problem. The other person instantly clapped back. Who are you? Trying to pretend you're the Batty director? If the washing machine has the function, why can't I use it my way? I shot back, it's just a tool, and customers are free to use it however they want. You just said using 3 modes together isn't sanitary, but now you want to use them together? So do you want to use them together or not? The troll refused to back down. Are you telling me what to do? I'll use it however I want, but mixing 3 wash modes together is just a stupid design. I replied, if the 3 modes bother you, you can return the product to us. We will send you a washing machine with 1 or 2 modes removed. The Batty 1X and 2X washing machines are great options for you. That reply got a bunch of likes from netizens. But another troll said Batty products are poorly made and called them electronic junk. I replied again, if there are quality issues, you can contact customer service for help. If it's our fault, feel free to exchange or return your purchase. Addressing the accusation of being electronic junk, I added, if a washing machine selling tens of thousands of units is still electronic junk, then what about those washing machines selling only a few dozen or hundreds a month? Should price really define what is or isn't junk? Then you shouldn't drink tap water that costs just a few bucks per ton, since that's trash. You should buy imported spring water at over 1,000 per bottle. That's probably not junk, right? I also admitted frankly that I acknowledge some parts used in Batty washing machines are from older models, but that's just to keep costs down. It's a last resort. Anyone can make waste. And I too could design a washing machine costing over 1,000 yuan. But you know how it is. Some accused me of dumping at low prices and ruining the market. And I shot back, you're giving Batty way too much credit. We're making affordable low-end products to meet the needs of people who want a cheap price, but still expect decent service. They desperately need appliances that are practical and affordable. No matter how great Huawei or Apple products are, not every Chinese person can own one. Our vision at Batty is to let Chinese people enjoy appliance freedom. That statement got quite a lot of support. The troll sophistry gradually lost ground. As the 3X washing machine kept selling hot, all brands' top-load washers under 1,000 yuan quickly pulled off the shelves. Batty totally monopolized this price segment. Soon, copycats from small factories appeared, launching poor-quality washing machines with 5 functions for 68 yuan. Many users took a loss silently, and only then realized the Batty 3X, although a knockoff model, was at least honest. It only slightly affected Batty's sales, but there were still thousands of orders each day. The workshop ran 3 shifts a day, and we still couldn't keep up with demand. I decided to ask Lin Shuai to help buy a used production line. Lin Shuai said. His friend had a set of factory equipment seized from a bankrupted business. Auctioned at 500,000 but with no buyers. I went straight to Dongguan to check it out, and found the production line wasn't maintained well, but was newer than ours. I finally got it for 400,000, and spent another 9,000 to ship it to our factory. The next day, Songdae arranged staff to install it, but once assembled and powered on, nothing happened. The system showed it could be repaired. Minutes later, the line started up normally. Songdae promised a full day for adjustments, and a production launched the next day. Production would double. The capacity issue was finally solved. A Cantonese landlady renovating her rental apartments ordered Batty products and suggested we develop our own AC and fridge. Kiao Ersu from Save Farm bought 2-3X washers to ease his wife's housework burden. Left a helpful review, which got pushed to the top of the feedback section. After Anchor Jije recovered, he did a landscape livestream flatly calling cheap knockoffs electronic junk, and highly recommended Batty 3X. In 20 days since Batty 3X launched, sales exceeded 150,000 units. I completed a system task and got an advanced injection molding production line. I promoted Songdae to deputy factory manager to oversee its implementation and cut costs further. The system showed that customers most wanted 2-wheel electric bikes. I saved up 135 points to redeem blueprints and modified them to make a low-cost model with the new national standard. The cost per unit for Model 21 was 267 yuan, and I set the price at 299 yuan. The extended range version was priced at 389 yuan. 4 days later, the 21st bike rolled off the line. With 2 built for testing and certification, Songdae handed me a helmet. The factory director put it on. Then I thanked him and put it on too. Started the bike and hit 25 kilometers per hour, the national limit. Took a few laps in the yard, then hit the street. Acceleration, braking, steering all smooth. Even easily overtook another national standard electric bike on an uphill. The rider shouted, "Hey," and asked, "Bro, what brand is that bike? How can you be that fast uphill?" "Batty D21, I replied. "Batty D21? He was confused and said he'd never heard of it. "Where'd you buy it?" I told him it's not on the market yet, and suggested he follow Batty's online store. Then I rode back to the factory, where everyone gathered around to ask how it went. I said it's great. Basically, I'd tested all the other functions. Just one last thing left, and that's the range. Songdae wanted employees to ride it out for a range test, but I felt that was too much effort. So I decided to modify a treadmill into a test rig, costing just 2,000 or 3,000 yuan. By that afternoon, the modification was done, and we started testing how far it could go at different speeds. A few days later, Model 21 met all benchmarks and passed inspection. A week later, it officially launched. Sales went live at 10 a.m. and instantly sold out. Over 1,000 sold in 1 minute. Even though 299 yuan was the most expensive Batty product ever. Thanks to a strong reputation, the popularity remained high. Tech reviewer Lei Shuhang was the first to order, even buying a spare high-capacity battery, and started a live unboxing review. The exterior has improved a lot, and the color scheme looks nice too. It's no wonder this bike is 200 yuan more expensive. From the first impression of the appearance, it's way better than a TV or a washing machine. After riding it, he said the acceleration is pretty good. It's pretty smooth. He feels it's not much different from those 3,000 yuan e-bikes. There's really not much difference. Some netizens questioned, "Streamer, did you get paid off?" They couldn't believe he spoke positively about Batty. Lei Shuhang responded, "My reviews are always straightforward, but it's inevitably subjective. If you don't trust me as a person, you can check out other people's unboxing videos." Then he disassembled the vehicle, confirming the parts were up to national standards. He also pointed out the lack of comfort. No included bike lock, helmet, or remote power off, etc. In the end, he decided to keep it for personal use. Another blogger, Zhao Pingping, maliciously slandered the D21, listed 7 major flaws, called it a junk bike, Netizens got into a heated argument. Many replied under his post.
I admit the Batty D21 e-bike has many shortcomings.
But it's not as bad as blogger Zhao Pingping claims. It's still usable for regular commuting. But compared to other e-bikes in the same 2,000 to 3,000 yuan configuration, there are definite gaps in comfort and accessories. There really is a difference. But this is a market economy. Our Batty D21 e-bike is just providing consumers with another option. If you don't like it or it doesn't meet your needs, you can always go with another brand of e-bike. Here at Batty, we've never forced anyone to buy our products. You are free to make your purchase. Batty Electric reminds you again, please shop rationally. These words made netizens realize there's no need to nitpick cheap products. Worker Liu Beojian, due to his factory relocating, found commuting very inconvenient. He couldn't bear to buy an expensive e-bike. So, on a co-worker's recommendation, he asked his co-worker to help purchase a D21. He was very satisfied after riding it. He called home to share the good news. Mom, I bought a Batty e-bike. It's not that expensive. Only 299 yuan. When the family heard Batty, they thought of the neighbor's TV and decided to get one for the new year too. There was also another guy who bought the D21 range extended version for his frugal father. At first, his father thought it was expensive and flatly refused. But when he found out it was only 299 yuan, he agreed to try. He quickly grew fond of the bike. Finally, he no longer had to walk over 20 li to bring lunch to his son. Jinan is a migrant worker family who were worried about needing to replace 3 national standard e-bikes. The daughter-in-law discovered Batty D21 and bought 3 bikes for less than 1,000 yuan. It solved their urgent need. Within just half a month, the D21 sold 150,000 units. Production couldn't keep up again. I decided to look for contract manufacturers. At the same time, I negotiated with battery and tire factories, signing an annual contract for 1 million battery sets and 2 million tires. This successfully cut costs. After that, I found 3 e-bike factories on the verge of bankruptcy to do contract manufacturing. This greatly eased the supply pressure. Just over a month later, the D21 had sold 400,000 units, with a pure profit of 14 million yuan. I paid off the 5 million yuan debt my dad left behind.
The system
Sent a reward. Debt paid off. Congratulations are in order. Unlocked a debt-free life achievement. Rewarded with 1 rare blueprint. Unlocked, triggering a lucky critical hit. Received 2 rare smartphone concept blueprints. 1 set for a high-end flagship, and 1 for an entry-level budget model. Both are modular designs, can be adapted to the latest hardware. I researched the phone market and found a lack of ultra-low-cost smartphones. I decided to price the budget phone under 300 yuan and keep the flagship under 1,999 yuan. After consulting with supplier Liu Shu, settled on the Qualcomm Snapdragon 660 chip at 80 yuan each, with a minimum order of 500,000 pieces for the budget model. The flagship chip will be decided later, officially starting the development of Batty smartphones. Currently, the high-end mobile chips are undoubtedly Apple's M series and Qualcomm's Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, as well as MediaTek's Dimensity 9000. As for Huawei HiSilicon's Kirin chips, due to well-known reasons, production has currently been halted. It's quite a pity. However, Apple's chips are not sold to outsiders, leaving only MediaTek and Qualcomm for high-end chips. As for the Batty flagship smartphone, the preferred processor would be the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2. But the price is indeed quite expensive. After a simple estimate, a phone equipped with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, plus a high refresh rate screen, and 256 gigabytes or 512 gigabytes of storage, along with various other small components, the base cost would be around 3,000 to 4,000. This wouldn't set it apart from other high-end models. Perhaps this spec stacking approach is wrong. Zhou Yang thought for a moment, deciding to pause the design of the flagship model for now. He'd start with a standard version first, and after getting familiar with the smartphone market, he would then look into high-end flagship phones. So, continuing with the design of the standard phone, besides the processor, another major cost factor for a phone is the screen itself. It can account for nearly half the production cost. Furthermore, the phone screen is directly related to the phone's shape and size. And it also affects the aesthetic appeal. Screens for mass market low-end models don't need to be top tier, as long as they aren't too fragile and don't cause eye strain. Other slight performance drops are acceptable. After all, a phone isn't like a TV, which has high demands for display performance. When purchasing screens for the Z1 tablet last time, he had already met several screen manufacturers. He could talk to the manufacturers directly. But when Jo Young made the calls, the manufacturers didn't take him seriously at all. This was because they had never heard of the Batty brand. This was hardly surprising. Batty had only managed to disrupt the industry in a few specific categories so far, but they had never made a phone. It was normal for these specialized screen manufacturers not to know who he was. This was quite awkward. If they didn't take him seriously, and he had to visit them in person to build trust from scratch, it would take too much time. So it was better to find someone he knew. Regarding Uncle Liu's screens, since he also sourced them from major distributors, there was an extra middleman involved. It wasn't cost-effective to buy screens from him. He still needed to find someone else. When Lin Shuai was buying screens for the Batty 41 TV last time, he had sourced customized screens directly from a manufacturer. So, since Jo Young had a need for screens this time,
He contacted him by phone.
he wanted to see if Lin Shuai could get in touch with any phone screen manufacturers. I'm very familiar with them. A buddy of mine's family owns a screen factory, Lin Shuai said nonchalantly. His social circle was indeed impressive. He then added, "That last batch of custom TV screens was ordered from my friend's factory." Jo Yang asked for his help to get in touch, as he wanted to order custom phone screens. The requirements were that they be cheap and durable. The cheaper, the better. Everyone wants cheap stuff. But you'd better talk to my buddy personally. I'll send you his WeChat contact. As Lin Shuai spoke, he sent a WeChat contact card over to Jo Yang. After Jo Yang added him, he mentioned he was a friend of Lin Shuai. They could be considered friends. Of friends. Hello, the screen merchant named Wu Baoyang established contact with Jo Yang. It started with a standard greeting. "Hello, I want to buy some phone screens. The requirements are cheap, durable, and a large quantity." Jo Yang was very direct. He put his requirements out there immediately. No requirements for other specs. "What about the size?" Wu Baoliang asked. "The size doesn't matter. Whichever size is the cheapest. That's the one I want." When Jo Young said that, the other party laughed. It was the first time he had ever met a buyer like this. Usually, designers from phone manufacturers already have their design blueprints ready and then purchase screens according to those blueprints. The screen manufacturer then provides a quote. But for someone like Jo Yang, where the size didn't matter, and price was the top priority, such a person probably only existed in odd companies that had no blueprints, and waited for the screens to arrive before starting the design. Wu Baoliang had actually hit the nail on the head. With the superfactory system, Jo Young really did determine the components first, and then modified the design blueprints. It was truly unique in the industry. Wu Baoliang suddenly remembered that in his factory's warehouse, there was a batch of backlogged phone panels. Current phone manufacturers were all chasing large screens over 7 inches. However, that specific panel could only be cut into small screens of about 6 inches. Because of its low-end specs, it had been left over. If Jo Yang could accept a size around 6 inches, it could be made cheaper. "I'll treat it as a clearance sale," Wu Baoliang said. "A 6-inch slab phone TFT screen, 1080p at 60 Hz. We only support orders of 800,000 pieces or more. I can give them to you for 78 yuan each." Jo Young's eyes lit up. That was incredibly cheap. This was definitely a good deal. Although he didn't know much about TFT specs, he quickly checked the superfactory system. No need to use Baidu. Within this system, all information on various electronic products was stored.
The system
Suddenly provided Jo Yang with information on TFT screens. TFT stands for thin film transistor, which is a type of active matrix liquid crystal display. TFT screens have a relatively fast response time, about 80 milliseconds, and have a wide viewing angle of around 130 degrees. TFT phone screens have good brightness, high contrast, and a strong sense of layering. With bright and vivid colors, The downside is that they consume more power. Is the only downside just power consumption? Then wouldn't this be perfect? Zhou Yang realized he had found the right person. He hadn't expected such a cheap price. However, the requirement was also daunting. A minimum order of 800,000 pieces. An ordinary small phone factory couldn't afford that. And he had to be sure his phone would sell. Otherwise, if they didn't sell, he'd be stuck with all of them. Okay, I'll take them, Zhou Yang said. Although this phone screen was twice as expensive as the one tablet screen, its performance was much better. Zhou Yang felt it was a great value. It was over 15 yuan cheaper per screen than Uncle Liu's. A 6-inch size didn't matter. These are considered relatively small screen phones, Wu Beiliang reminded him. Indeed, even among current mainstream phones, the relatively small iPhone 14 has a 6.1-inch screen. Being smaller than an iPhone 14, most people wouldn't like it very much. People generally prefer large screens. Small screens feel like they cause more eye strain, and they don't look as impressive as large screens. They aren't as appealing. It didn't matter. Zhou Yang didn't focus on the size. Compared to missing those few tenths of an inch, saving dozens of dollars is the most important thing. The consumers he targets probably don't care about screen size. If they really want a big screen, he can add a communication module to the Z1 tablet next time. Fine, let them make calls on a 10-inch big screen. That should satisfy those unique customers. So that's how things got settled. The other party sent Zhou Yang an electronic contract. He had to sign it before production could start. Now, thanks to technological development, electronic contracts are fast and convenient. No one needs to go to the site. Plus, they're more secure and reliable. Zhou Yang signed the electronic contract. He just needs to pay the deposit within 7 working days, and they can start producing the screens and ship the screens. Once that's settled, Zhou Yang can source other parts, like storage cards, starting from 64 gigabytes, with a max of 128 gigabytes. If more expansion is needed, just leave one card slot. This way, customers can expand it themselves. Even expanding to 1 terabyte is enough. There's also the charger. Zhou Yang will buy chargers from Uncle Liu, sticking with the as long as it works principle. Zhou Yang chose a very cheap 1.8W slow charger. Even the charging cable costs less than 8 RMB. Fits the product. Positioning, except for slow charging. There aren't really any drawbacks. After all, Apple's 5V1A chargers were used by users for years. Obviously, users don't have that high a demand for fast charging. As for accessories like speakers, microphones, and cameras, it's still the as long as it works principle. All are low-end models. Bundled together, they can be settled for just a few dozen RMB. For small phone screws, injection molded cases, and similar parts. Once those are decided, the phone design is basically done. But at this point, other electronics can already be finalized and named. But the phone design needed one more step. That is deciding which operating system the phone will use. Currently, the main operating systems for phones are Google's Android, Apple's iOS, and Huawei's HarmonyOS. As for non-mainstream Symbian and Windows systems, they've already been eliminated from the market because Apple produces, sells, and runs iOS internally. The Apple system isn't an option, so Zhou Yang can only choose between Android and HarmonyOS. Pick one. Android is what most phone manufacturers choose, and its software ecosystem is well developed. For so many years, it stood toe-to-toe with Apple's iOS, which proves how powerful it is. Huawei's HarmonyOS is also really user-friendly. Now, HarmonyOS has over 5.7 billion users, with a solid user base. So using HarmonyOS for the phone means you don't have to worry about sales.
Hold on.
Why do we have to use someone else's operating system? Can't we develop our own? Zhou Yang suddenly thought of this question. Using operating systems developed in someone else's factory, as an owner of a stand-alone system, feels a bit like losing face. Of course you can. The Superfactory system answered immediately. This system comes with a smartphone operating system with full intellectual property rights. It's compatible with Android and HarmonyOS apps. Using it can boost phone performance by 15%. Its smoothness is better than any other OS currently on the market, and it's bug-free now at version 10. Do you want to use the new operating system? Wow, there's actually a new system. Of course I want it, Zhou Yang said excitedly. All the operating system code for the phone has been provided. Ready for download. You can name it. The system responded. Zhou Yang thought for a moment. Remembering his factory was called Batty, he decided to give the OS a mythical name too. Let's just call it Zhuannu Smartphone Operating System. One Batty, one Zhuannu. They make a perfect pair. Batty phone with Zhuannu 10 operating system. That's a perfect match. A prompt appeared from the super factory system. The new phone design has succeeded. Phone and OS have been automatically optimized. Compatibility is at 130%. Please name it. Such an exaggerated compatibility number 130%. Zhou Yang was amazed. But judging by the simulated phone interface in the system, after using it, Zhou Yang realized it really was extraordinary. This Zhuannuos really is the perfect match for his Batty phone. It's achieved the effect of 1 + 1 greater than 2. Definitely smoother than any other operating system. This time, he really struck gold. So next he needs to name this awesome phone. The machine wants a catchy name. Since phones in the industry are usually named with a brand plus numbers, so their own phone will be called Batty 1, meaning Batty's first generation phone. If they make a flagship phone in the future, it'll be named Batty 1 Pro. Upgrade again, and it'll be Pro Max. Upgrade even further. They'll use all those suffixes like plus ultra. That's plenty for naming purposes. Super factory system. Batty 1 phone design is a success. Zhou Yang got the hard-earned phone blueprints. Then he called in Deputy Factory Director Song De. He solemnly handed the phone blueprints to him. Song De was amazed as he flipped through the phone blueprints. He especially liked it, because phones make money nowadays. Otherwise, those manufacturers wouldn't release several new phones every year. Always advertising, with extra money for marketing. Right now, phones are the most widely used digital device. People can go a day without watching TV, can go a day without using a computer, but it's very hard to go a day without touching their phone. Phones have already become essential for humanity. A semi-life necessity. If you don't spend a few hours on your phone each day, it's hard to fall asleep. Batty's previous products like flat-screen TVs, washing machines, or electric vehicles were all welcomed by the market. If this phone gets made, it will definitely be a hit in the market, making huge profits. But when he saw the phone system, it turned out to be an unknown Zhuannu OS. Song De raised an objection. How about just using Android? I've never heard of this Zhuannu OS. Hope there won't be any bugs. Song De's worry is reasonable. Don't worry, Zhuannu is our self-developed system. It works really well, Zhou Yang replied. When did you start self-developing? Song De was puzzled. Though he's getting old, he's always learning new things. He knows that phone operating systems are all programmed by computers. But he never saw the young factory director spending much time on computers. When did he complete a self-developed system? I actually researched it with friends during college. Zhou Yang had to tell a little white lie. I see, Director Zhou. You're really impressive. You have a wide circle of friends, even classmates this talented. Uncle Song De gave a thumbs up, finished praising. Then he immediately took the blueprints to the workshop. He's going to arrange the molds for manufacturing phone cases. Start the parts production line for small components, coordinating with the warehouse at the same time. Once the other components arrive, assembly and production can begin. Of course, employee training has to come first, since they haven't made phones before. Such a delicate product. They have to be extra careful. So Deputy Director Song De has a heavy workload. He immediately starts working overtime to handle everything. As for Zhou Yang, even though he designed the phone, his job isn't finished yet, because he still has to calculate the phone's sale price and cost. The two main components, processor and screen, make up more than half the total cost. For other parts, economizing wherever possible, relying on in-house parts and plastic casing. Ultimately, after calculation, the total cost of Batty 1 phone is around 240 yuan. According to the usual pricing strategy, looks like the base 64G model. Selling at 299 yuan each is reasonable. But selling at 299, Zhou Yang felt that price was still too high. Can't have it the same price as the electric vehicle. Zhou Yang thought about it. He gritted his teeth and decided to make it even more explosive. The price needs to drop further. He feels this phone will sell like crazy, so he'll rely on volume to offset cost losses. In the end, Zhou Yang decided on a price of 288 yuan. Earning over 40 yuan per phone is enough. He expects to sell 100,000. That's over 40 million in profit. Plenty attractive. So the final sale price for Batty 1 phone is settled. A stunning 288 yuan. This price doesn't seem very competitive. Similar to some basic phones for seniors, at roughly the same price point, but with pretty solid hardware, and the bonus of a self-developed Diversifying operating system. The actual user experience is comparable to phones in the 1,000 to 2,000 yuan range. At just a fraction of the cost, you get a taste of a 2,000 yuan phone. That's definitely appealing. Anyway, Zhou Yang was full of confidence. As long as people use his Batty phone, they'll definitely see its advantages. Now it's all settled. All the preparations for phone production are done. Only promotion and manufacturing remain for the Batty phone. Promoting new products is something Zhou Yang has done more than once. Step 1 is definitely to create a promo graphic. Once the ID and phone specs are confirmed, the promotional process can begin. Zhou Yang asked Zhao Jian, the art designer, to start designing promo images. Zhou Yang pulled the phone's promo graphic from the system. It's just a frontal shot. As for the price section, Zhou Yang had Zhao Jian put only 3 question marks. It means the phone price would be 3 digits. But as for the exact price, he'll reveal it right before launch. Additionally, the self-developed OS aspect. To make things more exciting, he'll wait to announce it along with the price reveal. And Zhou Yang is experienced now. Previous new launches were always sold out right after release. Then production couldn't keep up. It caused some negative impressions. This time, he'll wait until they have enough inventory before starting the sale, so he doesn't get roasted by netizens again. This promo image is posted only on Batty's own online store page. There's no other advertising. That's Batty's tradition. When a manufacturer releases a product, surely they aim to make a profit. If you promote a product with ads, that ad cost will definitely be factored into the product's cost and ultimately reflected in the sale price. So the harder a product is advertised, the higher the gross profit it suggests. Batty focuses on extreme cost performance, so prices are kept low. Advertising costs are minimized, relying entirely on customers themselves for word-of-mouth marketing. Right after Batty 1's promo graphic was released, netizens who saw it were collectively dumbfounded, left totally confused by Batty's scattershot approach, absolutely baffled by Batty's unpredictable actions. Because Batty's product line has zero pattern, starting with the Z1 tablet, then TVs and washing machines, then the recent big-selling electric vehicles. None of these products are related. Tablets are digital products. TVs and washing machines are large appliances. Electric vehicles are transportation tools. Even big appliance groups like Haier and Media don't cover all these product categories. After all, every company has its own familiar specialty. Entering unfamiliar fields means paying tuition fees. There are far more failures than successes. But Batty seems unaware of the difficulty of starting something new, coming out with new products one after another, crossing industries each time. This time, even as EVs are selling like crazy, they're not riding the wave, auctioning bicycles. Even related products like helmets and mobility scooters unexpectedly started to enter the mature Chinese and fiercely competitive smartphone market. Isn't this just asking for trouble? Batty is getting bold, not focusing on selling his electric bikes properly, but instead developing smartphones, thinking the smartphone industry is like other sectors, that low prices alone will dominate. But cheap phones just don't work. I once bought my dad a big screen phone for 600 yuan. It was ridiculously laggy. No space left after downloading WeChat or Alipay. Really frustrating. What's the point of Batty focusing on low prices? I wouldn't take that digital junk even if it were free. Why not take it? You could trade it for a stainless steel wash basin. This time, netizens seem even less optimistic about Batty's phone compared to when other products launched. After all, Batty's other appliances aren't essentials, but smartphones definitely are. Basically, everyone has a phone nowadays. And what people know best is smartphones. To get people to buy a phone, and actually replace the phone they're using and choose Batty as their first pick. That's really tough. Currently, the mainstream smartphones are priced between 1,000 to 2,999 yuan. Phones in this range are balanced price and performance. You can do anything with them. They're very popular. And super cheap phones basically lag for everyone. It takes half a minute just to open an app. It's essentially borrowing the internet passively. Older Android phones, usually after a year or two of use, they start lagging like this. That's why people rave about iPhones, because an iPhone can run smoothly for 4 or 5 years. Anyway, nobody has high hopes for Batty's phone. But some say, if this phone sells for 100 yuan, maybe it's worth considering. Because 100 yuan is even cheaper than those keypad phones for seniors. Might as well gift it to parents or older relatives. Seniors have plenty of time. They don't mind if it lags. Isn't 100 yuan the lowest 3-digit price? Doesn't seem likely. Netizens think it's unbelievable. Even buying a screen and case online themselves would cost more than 100 yuan. Not to mention this is a brand new phone. Small but fully featured. That cheap. Unless they're using outdated parts from 7 or 8 years ago. And probably 80% of the components are obsolete. After all, the Z1 tablet was just built from old parts from years ago. So this phone is probably relying on super low prices to attract lower income buyers. While Batty hasn't disclosed the price yet, netizens are having lively discussions online, mostly mocking some of Batty's loyal customers who look forward to the phone, but they want to wait for the official price first. If Batty keeps prices low, that's something. Why not buy one then? But if it's still several hundred yuan each, there's really no need to switch phones. After all, the phones people have, knock-off or seniors' phones still work fine. They've gotten by for years. No need to upgrade just for a low-end phone. Batty's phone wasn't well received at launch anyway. Didn't get any optimism, just as netizens were heatedly discussing. Zhou Yang received a notice from his superiors that director Li Q was coming to Batty for inspection. Zhou Yang didn't really prepare much. Batty is how it always is. Same whether the leadership visits or not. At most, hang a welcome banner at the door.
Tidy up the factory grounds.
At 10 a.m. that day, the leadership arrived as planned at Batty's factory. They came in 4 cars. About a dozen people got out, all staff from the Shenzhen business department, led by director Li Q. Visited Batty Electrical, the new big taxpayer. Welcome to the leadership for guidance. Zhou Yang and Song De went to the factory gate. Welcome. So you're Batty's boss, Zhou Yang? Li Q was very curious, even though he had seen the files. Batty only took off after switching to a young boss. That's when it became successful. But Zhou Yang's youth still surprised him. Yes, Director Li, please, Zhou Yang. Warmly inviting the leadership to tour the factory, followed by a large group. The leaders entered Batty for an internal tour. You could see that Batty's factory area was clean and organized. There were also some flowers, plants, and trees. It looked pretty good. Once inside the workshop, they saw employees hard at work in the production process. The main products currently produced in the factory have shifted from electric vehicles to smartphones. The workers were assembling smartphones. Li Q was very curious. He remembered Batty's best-selling products. Apparently didn't include smartphones. Aren't your electric vehicles selling well lately? Why didn't I see them being made? Li Q asked. Our factory is transitioning to electric vehicles, but we're currently outsourcing production to other companies. We're focusing mainly on smartphone manufacturing. Zhou Yang replied. So that's how it is. Li Q found Batty quite fascinating. They outsourced their hottest products and decided to produce new products that haven't been proven in the market. Zhou Yang's boldness is indeed remarkable. However, Li Q wasn't concerned about outsourcing. In the outsourced factories, there was even an electric vehicle factory in Shenzhen without Batty's outsourcing. That factory had previously been on the verge of bankruptcy. Luckily, Batty's orders came in and helped stabilize the situation. Clearly, Batty is not only a major taxpayer, but also helps other companies keep running smoothly. It's truly a huge contribution. Curious, Li Q picked up a fully assembled smartphone from the production line.
It felt compact in his hand.
The quality was pretty good too. He nodded in approval. Batty left him with a completely different impression compared to other companies. Lee Q told his staff, "We need to publicize Batty's success story more when we get back. Modern enterprises must adapt quickly to keep up with an ever-changing market." His staff took note. They would promote and implement these ideas after returning. However, everyone knows this strategy, but very few actually succeed at it. Only people like Zhou Yang, who have the support of a super factory system, have such confidence. When he decides to transform, he does it. After Lee Q, the director, finished his tour, he suddenly noticed a very unusual phenomenon, which caught his attention. Lee Q found that all the workers in Batty's factory were middle-aged and elderly people. In the factory area, except for the factory manager, he barely saw any employees in their 20s. He was curious and asked Zhou Yang why. The factory only hires workers aged 35 and above, those optimized out by society, Zhou Yang explained. And the leaders were stunned. It was the first time they'd heard of a business owner actively recruiting employees aged 35 and above. In the past, these middle-aged workers were the main force in labor arbitration cases. They had worked for years, but once they became older, companies laid them off, calling it optimization in name only. These optimized middle-aged workers got a generous severance, but couldn't find suitable work anymore. Most eventually became freelancers, doing food or package deliveries, or driving for Didi. Life wasn't easy for many. So here's the question. Why does Batty Electric go against the trend, and specifically hire employees aged 35 and above? Because it's my family's tradition? Zhou Yang shared his reason. The leaders were amazed. The word tradition is pretty novel. Director Lee Q laughed. Zhou Yang spoke seriously. My dad always said that other companies lack compassion. They use employees and then kick them out. But Batty can't support these bad practices. Plus, middle-aged staff over 35 understand how hard it is to get a job. They tend to be more committed and responsible. So at Batty Electric, where there's not much physical labor, it's actually perfect to hire middle-aged workers. It brings more benefits than drawbacks. That's insightful. Even Lee Q couldn't help but agree. And the young Zhou Yang made a deep impression on him. He was already planning to promote Batty Electric's example when he returned. Highlight Batty Electric's role. Set it up as a model. Let companies nationwide take notice. It's not all about profit. Hiring young people alone isn't enough. Businesses must also contribute to social stability. Batty really excels in this area. It deserves recognition. After the tour, the leaders left with their group. Sitting in the car, Lee Q told his staff, "This kind of company needs real support." His staff got right on it. Soon after, Zhou Yang received some good news. Batty Electric was recognized by the city as a civilized company, a model enterprise for fostering new social habits. They received a tax reduction quota. Based on monthly revenue, they could save at least $1 million in taxes per year. That's quite a deal. Such things as awards didn't mean much to Zhou Yang. But this tax cut was a real, tangible benefit. His hiring of workers aged 35 and above, and social contributions were rewarded by society. But that wasn't all. The system immediately sent him a reward notification, received an official reward from Shenzhen, received honorary recognition. Worth praising. The system additionally awarded him a press conference slot. Keep up the good work. Press conference. Zhou Yang's eyes lit up right away. He'd grown up watching other major brands hold conferences, but had never experienced one himself. Mainly, press conferences cost money and require prestige. Batty isn't famous enough yet, and didn't have the money to hold a press conference, so he couldn't make it happen. Now that the system gave him a conference opportunity, it couldn't be better. Just right. His Batty smartphone needed publicity. It's like being sleepy, and someone hands you a pillow. It's perfect to take advantage of this. So Zhou Yang announced the news on his online account. Batty Electric will hold, in 1 week, by factory director Zhou Yang, the new Batty e-smartphone launch press conference. It will be streamed live online. Please stay tuned. This pre-announcement caused a stir, and immediately drew sarcastic comments from many netizens. A press conference for a single product. Is that called being focused? Or just cheap? Other companies hire a beautiful woman to present, but Batty can't even afford a beauty or a product manager. So they have to invite the boss himself. Just stick to selling your electric bikes and washing machines? Why try to join the smartphone industry? Is Xiaomi not cheap enough? Or Apple's sales not high? What rival can Batty's low-end goods beat? Nobody had high expectations for the conference. Cheap phones flood the market. And without performance advantages, why buy one? The last appliance company to cross into smartphones was apparently Gree. They spent a fortune developing their phone, but could only sell them to their own employees, which became a joke in the industry. Many netizens who had previously praised Batty now said Batty was getting arrogant, thinking it could do well with TVs and washing machines. So they decided to make phones, unaware that the technology level in smartphones is much higher than other appliances. It's not something you can handle easily. Anyway, hopefully, Batty won't lose heart. What went wrong with this failure? Just go back and keep making cheap appliances. We still love you. Afterwards, some curious netizens even forwarded Zhou Yang's press conference post to Xiaomi and OPPO and companies like Huawei, saying that a major industry giant is entering the smartphone market. Are you scared? But in reality, these phone brands had never even heard of Batty. After all, Batty previously was only well known in the home appliance and electric vehicle sectors. The phone industry hadn't heard their name yet. Some official social media accounts of famous phone companies just regarded it as spam. They simply chose to ignore it, and some companies joked around, posting a meme saying, "I'm so scared." It looked like they were afraid, but actually they were mocking such a small factory, because when they checked Batty appliances on Tianyangka, Batty's registered capital was only 100,000 RMB. That amount doesn't even cover a single online ad for them. Plus, Batty's previous products were at most knock-off tablets for 99 yuan. The social media teams at these phone companies almost burst out laughing. They were thinking, this bunch of silly netizens must be really bored. A small factory says they want to build phones, and actually comes to them. If they even give them a serious look, it would mean they're losing. As employees of phone companies, they know full well that making phones isn't nearly that easy. When Batty announced a new phone, none of the brands gave a direct response, which proves Batty is just a newcomer in the phone industry, not taken seriously by rivals. Netizens quickly lost interest as well, and as the press conference date got closer, Zhou Yang stayed at the factory every day, testing their freshly manufactured Batty smartphones. He's already started using a Batty phone, proudly becoming the world's first Batty phone user, thanks to the Zhuanan OS upgrades. Even though the processor is Snapdragon 660, regular apps run absolutely fine, whether it's browsing or shopping online. Voice chat is no problem. It can even handle the popular game Genshin Impact with adjusted graphics settings, giving about 30 FPS for smooth gameplay, and it doesn't seriously overheat. Plus, with Zhuanan V10 OS support, the hardware is fully utilized. Zhou Yang feels it's very easy to use, compared to phones in the 1,000 to 2,000 yuan range. There's not a huge difference. The only downside is the camera and speakers, due to cost considerations. The speaker was limited for budget reasons, so they stuck to the principle that, as long as it works, it's fine. The external sound is basically just audible, and the camera is only 13 MP. That's the level of cameras from years ago. It can't capture macro or wide-angle shots, which is a bit of a shame. But for a high-quality camera and experience, they'll have to solve that with the future flagship models. This Batty phone is just meant to move units. Now everything's ready except for publicity. As for whether Batty phones will be embraced by the market, that depends on tomorrow's press conference. The next day finally arrived, the day of the press conference. A huge crowd of reporters gathered outside Batty's office that morning. More than 20 of them, well-known local and national media, all here to attend the Batty One smartphone launch. Reporters, this left many of those waiting to laugh at Batty surprised. They thought a tiny company like Batty would at best attract a small-time journalist. Didn't expect it would draw so many media outlets. Probably spent a lot of money. They just don't believe. These reporters came because of Batty's own reputation. Brought all these people in. And they're right. The media wasn't drawn by Batty, but came thanks to the publicity boost given by the system. This product launch conference also saved costs. No hotel or conference hall rental. held directly inside the Batty factory instead. Built a simple tent. Brought in some benches for their media friends. Such a simple product launch event was set up on the spot, not like those high-tech, fancy launches. The ID1 launch was pretty down-to-earth. Just a huge Batty phone poster as the backdrop. And the price part was covered with a red cloth, full of mystery. The reporters were whispering below, even though they were experienced. They'd never seen anything like this before. The press conference was full of a primitive vibe. Nobody knew why, but their bosses had ordered them to attend. That's right, this time it was the superfactory system, acting as a deus ex machina, forcing these media outlets to send people to the conference. As for why, it was all due to various coincidences. Some bosses happened to see news about Batty. Others had it recommended by friends. Anyway, these media outlets that were usually so familiar were all concentrated here at this moment. Let's get this started. We're supposed to go grab drinks with colleagues after this. The reporters were urging silently in their hearts. When it hit 9:30 a.m., the Batty smartphone product launch officially began. Since he couldn't afford a beautiful product manager, Zhou Yang took the stage himself to give the presentation. Ladies and gentlemen of the media. Hello, Zhou Yang started with his opening remarks. Then he waved on the stage. But the expected applause didn't come. Because these news reporters didn't know Zhou Yang, they had no reason to humor him. This inevitably made Zhou Yang feel a bit awkward. Asterisk clap 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 asterisk. However, at that moment, applause rang out from below. It turned out to be Zhang Shuqi, a reporter from the Business Daily. She was the first reporter to ever cover Batty. To put it jokingly, she had watched Batty grow up. She knew Batty's strength. Since they were holding a press conference this time, there was bound to be an even bigger breakthrough. The others who were clapping were a few older ladies and clerks from Batty's office. They all worshipped Zhou Yang. In just 2 or 3 short months, he had taken Batty from an electronics factory with 5 million in debt, on the brink of bankruptcy, and turned it into a highly profitable internet-famous enterprise. They all felt immensely proud, and this applause was entirely heartfelt, making it quite enthusiastic, seeing a few people clapping so sincerely. The other reporters gave a few perfunctory claps as well. Now, it finally felt like a normal press conference. Thank you all for coming. Now, let's get down to business. The product we are launching today is the first Batty smartphone, the Batty 1. This phone is equipped with our self-developed Xuanyu 10 system, a 6-inch screen, and a Snapdragon processor. It can smoothly run current mainstream mobile games. As Zhou Yang gave the introduction on stage, the group of reporters was quite shocked, because in China, besides Huawei, no other manufacturer had been able to develop their own operating system. This was of historical significance. However, doubts quickly followed. Is this self-developed OS really easy to use? Will there be compatible apps? Seeming to notice the reporter's concerns, Zhou Yang, after a brief introduction of the hardware specs, explained to them, my Xuanyu system is compatible with Android and Harmony OS apps. You can download them with peace of mind. Compatible with Harmony OS and Android software? What does that mean? Is it just an Android skin or a Harmony OS skin? The reporters were a bit stunned, but seeing the operating interface of the Xuanyu system, with its smooth sliding and operation, they felt the phone seemed pretty decent. On site, Zhou Yang started a round of Honor of Kings. Looking at the smooth graphics inside, the phone seemed okay. I estimate this phone will be priced between 1,000 and 2,000. Nothing special about it, aside from a self-developed system. It has no unique features. A male reporter whispered below. Hearing this, Zhang Shuqi said, you guys haven't been paying attention. Batty released a promotional image for the Batty 1 before. The price is only 3 digits. According to Batty's style, this phone won't cost more than 350 yuan. What? 350? This male reporter from Capital News laughed out loud on the spot. If this phone can be sold for under 350, I'll eat it right here. The other reporters around were also laughing, all laughing at this newcomer. They thought the female reporter didn't understand anything. A phone with these specs was clearly in the 1,000 to 2,000 yuan price range. And with a self-developed system, even if it was a skin, the R&D costs would be at least in the millions. With research costs included, this phone definitely wouldn't be. less than 1,500, to suggest a price of 350 yuan. Jiang Shuqi was really naively cute. Being mocked by her peers, Jiang Shuqi's face flushed red with shame and anger. Although she was a newcomer, she had her own judgment. Furthermore, she was familiar with Batty, so she naturally knew that Batty would never build such an expensive phone. She said at the time, "Fine, let's make a bet. If the Batty phone doesn't exceed 350 yuan, you eat it. If it exceeds 350, I'll eat it." This made the other male reporters laugh even more. Seeing that Jiang Shuqi was such a young green girl, nobody wanted to lower themselves to her level. There was no glory in winning. So the reporter from Capital News said,
If I win,
"You don't have to eat the phone. Just put on some black stockings and high heels and dance for us seniors." "Fine, it's a bet." Out of righteous indignation, Jiang Shuqi agreed to the wager. Other male reporters also grew interested. Someone took out their phone to record this as a funny joke. They all wanted to see this young and beautiful colleague dance for them. Although Jiang Shuqi had confidence, she couldn't help but feel a bit stifled afterward. She had never worn black stockings and high heels. That wasn't her style at all. So she began praying in her heart, hoping Zhou Yang would come through and not set the price above 350 yuan. Otherwise, she would really lose face big time.
and so
All the reporters on site focused on the final price of the phone. Well, I won't keep you in suspense anymore. For a phone with a self-developed system and balanced performance, how much should it cost? Now, to reveal the answer. Zhou Yang pulled the red cloth in front of the poster. As the red cloth drifted down, 3 shocking digits were revealed behind it. 288. 288 yuan. The uniform price for the Batty one across the entire web. Isn't that mind-blowing? As soon as Zhou Yang shouted this, he heard a cheer from Jiang Shuqi below, because she had won the bet. Meanwhile, the other male reporters were half petrified, staring blankly. What? 288? Boss Zhou, didn't you leave out a 1 at the beginning? The male reporter from Capital News said, dissatisfied. In his understanding, it was only reasonable for this Batty phone to sell for 1,288. How can it only be 288? It's cheaper than a phone for seniors. Is this a joke? However, the price was indeed 288. As of now, Batty had no products priced above 4 digits. This 288 was only possible with the support of the superfactory system. It was created this way. It was the only one of its kind. No other brand could match it. That's right, the Batty one is exactly 288 yuan. Honest prices for all, Zhou Yang confirmed once again. At this, the reporters below all raised their hands high. They had countless questions they wanted to ask at this moment. Seeing so many reporters eager to ask questions, Zhou Yang designated one of them to speak. A male reporter stood up and asked, "Would you consider this false advertising? I saw your demo and the phone's performance was impressive. Plus, it's got a self-developed system. Why is the price set so low? Is selling at a loss just a gimmick to attract customers?" That question might sound a bit rude, but Zhou Yang still answered seriously. "It's not a gimmick. My phone goes through a unique manufacturing process. Low specs, high performance. And it also has powerful components. My suppliers gave me a really favorable cost, so the cost is low. Even though it's priced at 288 yuan, the factory still makes a profit. I can't sell a phone that costs a couple hundred for over 1,000. Just so it feels reasonable to you. If you still feel Batty phones are sold too cheap, then you're welcome to buy from me in bulk and sell them elsewhere for 1,000 yuan each. I'm sure you'd make big profits." After Zhou Yang finished speaking, the other journalists couldn't help but laugh. Really, if Batty phones are that cheap to make, and they're sold at a low price, there's no reason to nitpick. Would you really feel better paying a premium just to be taken advantage of? But some journalists still remained unconvinced, because there simply aren't such great low-cost phones on the market. You can't help but question its authenticity. Nearby, Zhou Yang's phone was broadcasting live. At that moment, chats were flying across the live stream screen. Viewers couldn't believe Batty phones were really that good. They thought Zhou Yang was just bragging. He probably just brought out a prototype to show off. The actual phone's performance must be disappointing. A lady in the office was busy helping manage the stream. Seeing all those comments, she got really upset. Then she went up to the stage to speak with Zhou Yang. Zhou Yang addressed both the journalists present and viewers watching online. He gave one unified answer. This is not a prototype. It's the official model being sold to the public. If you still have doubts, I'm willing to make a promise here. If you buy a Batty phone through regular channels, and its performance is significantly different from my demo, I'm willing to refund 10 times the purchase price. In the audience, the male journalist from Capital News looked uneasy. If everything Zhou Yang said is true, then he's basically gambling with his words. If he loses, would he have to eat a phone? But he wasn't ready to admit defeat yet. As long as he can prove Batty's phones aren't what they seem, that the demo phones and retail units aren't the same, there's still hope he could turn the tables. So he stood up and immediately demanded to buy a Batty phone for verification. No need to buy. For every media friend who came to the launch, I've prepared a Batty phone for each of you. If you're not picky, feel free to take one and try it out. As Zhou Yang spoke, a few ladies from the office came over, carrying new phone boxes, to pass out other products below. There are also gift giveaways at the launch event. But Zhou Yang is pretty broke, so he can't afford expensive gifts.
He simply gives away Batty phones he made himself.
Anyway, each phone only costs a little over 200 yuan. Giving away these 20 or so phones doesn't hurt. Thank you, Batty. The journalists were all happy to attend the launch and get a gift as well. Seeing the refined packaging makes the phone feel really high quality. But realizing it's only 288 yuan feels a bit surreal. After all, that's not even enough for a meal, let alone such a cheap hot pot phone. And it's packed with features. Plus, it's not ugly. It just doesn't make sense scientifically. How is it even made? Could these be purposely assembled? Special picked units? I want to pick one out of the warehouse myself. Just then, the male journalist from Capital News made a somewhat unreasonable request. Zhou Yang was momentarily surprised, then realized it was actually a pretty good idea. He could record footage of his plentiful stock in the warehouse. While this journalist is cooperating nicely, deserves a bonus. Zhou Yang was very satisfied inside, and cheerfully agreed to the journalist's request. Then he paused the launch event, held up his phone to live stream, and took the journalist to the warehouse. Arriving in the warehouse, they saw boxes and boxes of Batty phones neatly stacked. There are tens of thousands of finished units here. That's why Zhou Yang can confidently claim his inventory is abundant. Seeing so many phones in stock, the journalist was satisfied. After all, even factories have their limits when selling at a loss just for hype. There has to be a limit. So many high-spec, low-cost phones. Even big manufacturers couldn't afford the loss. So he's convinced that these are retail models Batty plans to sell to the public. So the male reporter went deeper into the warehouse.
He opened a large cardboard box from the back area.
He picked out a perfectly intact one, an unopened brand new Batty 1 phone. Holding the new phone, the male reporter said to Zhou Yang, "Can I exchange this phone I got with one from here?" "Of course." Zhou Yang smiled and replied, "These are all stock inventory. The barcodes are registered before shipping, so swapping randomly now doesn't matter." The male reporter was satisfied. Back at the event, he opened it up in front of everyone, getting ready to test the phone's performance. He powered it on and activated it. Then the Zhuan NV system logo appeared. A beautiful, classical comic-like drawing of Swan NV, similar to the Nine Heavens goddess. It was the phone's background wallpaper. To test it, the male reporter downloaded a game of Honor of Kings right on the spot. He wanted to see if this phone matched the demo. Other reporters thought it was interesting too, so they pointed their cameras at their colleague. They also wanted to check out the 288 yuan phone. How does it really perform in use? After using it, the male reporter felt it was extremely smooth, just as smooth as Zhou Yang's onstage demo. Seems like this phone is pretty amazing. For 288 yuan, it can even serve as a gaming device. Wow, is this self-developed system really so smooth? Snapdragon 660 processor. No overheating, flawlessly runs apps and games. Truly the pride of Chinese manufacturing. The onlooking reporters couldn't help but praise one after another. Cold sweat started to drip from the male reporter's face. Because the Batty 1 phone performed so well, it meant he lost the bet. At that moment, the male reporter glanced sideways and found Jiang Shuqi watching him. This lady had just been joking earlier. Laughing, the male reporter replied jokingly, mainly because he doesn't really want to eat a phone. Once you make a promise, you can't back out. A real man must keep his word. Jiang Shuqi's smiling words made the others burst out laughing. Everyone started encouraging from the sidelines. Betting with a beautiful colleague, now he has to eat a phone. That makes for a huge news scoop. The other reporters all pointed their cameras and phones at their colleague, ready to shoot live footage of eating a phone. The male reporter from Capital News looked conflicted. If he doesn't eat it, he'll never live it down in the industry. He'd be the butt of jokes among colleagues for life. But if he does eat it, the phone is so hard. How could he possibly swallow it? Plus, he probably can't digest it either. The male reporter deeply regretted it now. If only he'd done more research. Who exactly is Batty Factory anyway? How come they can make such a cheap yet amazing phone? Things were chaotic on this side. Zhou Yang, after wrapping up the launch event, noticed the commotion. He walked over and asked what was going on. He had doubted Batty and lost the bet. Jiang Shuqi chuckled. She explained the whole story to Zhou Yang. So that's how it happened. Alright, Zhou Yang got an idea. He suddenly realized this could be a great publicity stunt. If handled well, it would be free advertising for Batty. Such a great opportunity. Other manufacturers could only dream of it. Zhou Yang then stood in front of the media cameras. He loudly declared, "Everyone, please hear me out." The reporters all turned to Zhou Yang. Zhou Yang said, "When a man makes a promise,
He must stick to it.
as the host, I'll support this reporter eating the phone. Batty will sponsor the phone." Hearing Zhou Yang say this, everyone eagerly waited to see what's next. The male reporter felt awkward. He was cursing inside. Why did Zhou Yang have to get involved? But Zhou Yang secretly gave the male reporter a look, signaling him to solve the problem. The male reporter was instantly thrilled. Finally, someone was helping him out. He eagerly cooperated. He eagerly chimed in and said he'd follow director Zhou Yang's instructions. Zhou Yang continued, "I've decided to set up a small impromptu venue this afternoon. At that time, I'll eat the phone together with this reporter." The surrounding reporters were stunned. They wondered why the factory director had to join every activity. Is this phone really that delicious? Online viewers were shocked too. They wondered, does Batty phone have some magical feature? Like edible attributes? An edible phone, that would be truly amazing. Because of a funny misunderstanding, the viewers believed Batty One phone was edible. Now viewers were intrigued as well. The other reporters had nothing urgent, so they decided to attend the phone-eating event in the afternoon. Zhou Yang soon ended the live stream. Then he invited the reporters to tour the factory. They had lunch right at the factory. The phone-eating ceremony was set for the afternoon. That's how things were arranged. A nice news highlight indeed. The reporters all agreed? While the reporters shot footage inside the factory, Zhou Yang had already called the bakery. He definitely wasn't planning to eat a hard phone. Instead, he asked the bakery to make a huge phone-shaped cake. Its shape would resemble a Batty phone. They'd eat it that afternoon. At lunchtime, Zhou Yang ordered a banquet. He hosted all the reporters in the factory office. Though the place was a bit basic, the food was excellent. All hearty dishes. The meal cost several thousand yuan, but it was well worth it. These uncrowned kings had a blast. There's a saying, if someone treats you, you feel obligated. They'll surely say some nice things about Batty from now on. That'll be worth the expense. Everyone thoroughly enjoyed the meal. They just didn't drink alcohol. Then at 1 p.m., Zhou Yang didn't waste any time. He brought out the phone cake at the morning's launch venue. He rolled out the phone cake. Now everyone realized Zhou Yang's idea was to eat a phone-shaped cake. Everyone instantly applauded, praising his cleverness. Then Zhou Yang invited the male reporter who lost the bet to come up and cut the phone cake with him. They distributed the cake for everyone to taste. The phone cake was best enjoyed together. Reporters laughed non-stop. While filming, they all went up to get cake. Tasting the delicious cake, a fun story was born. After the cake, the entire launch event wrapped up. The reporters headed back. They edited the Batty phone launch, along with the phone-eating segment afterwards, and posted it online. It quickly sparked heated discussions among netizens. The jaw-dropping 288 yuan smartphone can smoothly run all common apps and effortlessly play Honor of Kings. At this price, it's truly unprecedented. Self-developed system, 288 yuan smartphone. Everyone eating a phone after the event. And other trending headlines. Everyone drew attention. All together, they made it to the trending topics. A 288 yuan phone. Isn't this just a joke?
Anyway, I don't believe it'll be as good as the demo.
Most netizens shared the same thought as the on-site reporters did. They're all judging based on their life experience. When it comes to something new, let's just see what it can really do once it's released. It's perfectly natural for netizens to demand its release. Zhou Yang even said at the press conference that it would officially launch at 10 a.m. 2 days later. The main goal was to use the press conference for some hype, which turned out to have a really good effect for the launch. As it turns out, the new product launched through the system was a success. Netizens' curiosity was piqued. The previously unknown Batty phone is finally getting some attention now. Everyone wants to know if this phone at 288 yuan is really as amazing as advertised. This made the Batty online store's phone link soar in bookmarks. There are as many as 7,000 or 8,000 bookmarks. Keep in mind, these are just bookmarks. The actual number of orders will definitely be several times that. So it looks like the Batty One phone is about to go viral again. Meanwhile, in a mountain village, a group of farm women were chatting about Batty. That Batty phone, huh? Hey, Aunt, have you heard? Batty has launched a phone. Aunt asked in surprise.
Batty?
Isn't that the same brand as your washing machine and TV? Another lady answered her. Yeah, it's that Batty. Their stuff is cheap and reliable. Now they've got a phone out, and it's only 288 yuan.
Aunt said.
288? That's still expensive. That's almost the price of 2 TVs. But a phone is different. From what I saw the factory manager do, it can shop online, video chat, and even play games. The main thing is, it can make calls. Didn't you always say you don't have a phone? So you can't chat with your husband who works away from home. With a phone, you can video call every day.
Hearing this,
Aunt really felt tempted. Even though things are tight at home, saving 288 yuan just means eating 10 pounds less meat. But what you get is being able to talk to your husband working away from home every day. And your husband can see his parents and child. That's a small investment for a big benefit. That's a good deal. All right, help me buy one. As long as it can do video calls.
I'm in.
Anne finally made up her mind. She's determined to buy a phone. It's really because the Batty phone is so affordable. Otherwise, she really couldn't afford other smartphones. Over in Shili village, a few women ran excitedly to Jin Qiao's house to tell her some great news. Batty finally has a phone. Really? How much is it? If it's expensive, I can't afford it, Jin Qiao said thoughtfully. Her family has been loyal to Batty, except for their e-bike. They've bought Batty TVs and washing machines. They spent a few hundred in total, but their quality of life improved a lot. Batty really made life easier for Jin Qiao's family, but without a phone, she couldn't do a lot of things, and was falling out of touch with society. To reach relatives and friends from out of town, they had to ask Ji Dejiao to pass on the message. If she could have a phone, she could not only make calls, but get things done that a TV or tablet can't, like online shopping, registering for accounts, and mobile payment. Even going to town to apply for low-income assistance requires a phone too, Ji Dejiao said. 288 isn't much. My husband said it's a great deal. He wants to buy 2 at once and switch between them. He said this is even better than the 1,000 yuan phone he bought 2 years ago. 288? Okay, I'll try to save up a bit more and buy one first. Once my assistance gets approved, I can pay off the rest. Jin Qiao finally made up her mind to buy a phone. She also wants to learn how to shop online. She feels bad always asking Ji Dejiao to help. She doesn't want to trouble her anymore. Okay, then I'll just buy 3 phones at once. Batty even throws in a small gift. Ji Dejiao happily agreed. So with everyone eagerly waiting, the big day of Batty phone's release finally arrived. A lot of people were on Batty's shop page that day, clicking the buy button like crazy, afraid they'd miss out. Batty's new products always used to sell out fast. Even though the press conference promised enough supply, buyers didn't believe it. They all wanted to buy as soon as possible. 9 hours 59 minutes and 58 seconds 59, then 10 o'clock sharp. As the time hit by, all three Batty stores Dao and Duodwo launched together. A few seconds later, on a computer operated by Batty Company, order notifications started ringing continuously. The number of orders grew like a wound-up timer, climbing from dozens to hundreds, and heading straight for 1,000. Keep in mind, it's only been a minute since sales began, and there are already such stunning sales figures. Now Batty One phone is truly about to explode in sales. All three Batty online stores sold out as soon as they launched. Over 1,000 orders within 3 minutes. 4,500 units sold within 10 minutes. It's estimated that first-day sales may exceed 10,000 units. For a small company newly entering the phone industry, achieving this with zero advertising is nothing short of miraculous. Buyers have different motives. Some are attracted by the self-developed system. Some just want a cheap deal. Others want to take a chance on my refund tenfold if not satisfied promise. But most are just people who really need a phone. The employees are thrilled, but I had already expected this. Batty One is directly comparable. It stands toe-to-toe with phones under 2,000 yuan. The price-to-performance ratio speaks for itself. Production lines immediately started working overtime. YTO and postal service delivery trucks were already waiting. Shipping was arranged by region. Postal service handled remote areas. Jiangsu, Zhejiang, and Shanghai got 3 links and 1 delivery, all to ensure phones reach users as quickly as possible. Ben Shu from Net Youth is a popular figure in the phone scene. After seeing the Batty launch and the phone-eating news,
He thought the 288 yuan price was a joke.
but after watching the live stream, he decided to check it out. He wanted to see if the self-developed OS was just Android rebranded, and also wanted to gamble on that tenfold refund promise. On launch day, he managed to snag one. He filmed the entire unboxing after picking it up. The blue and white box featured a Zhuan Nu motif. The star blue phone looked compact and well-designed. Plastic back, but no cheap accessories. Just an 18W slow charger, SIM pin, and manual. He wanted to complain about the frugality, but then thought it over. At 288 yuan, it's understandable. It booted up in under 10 seconds. After activation, you see the Zhuan Nu themed home screen. Operation felt like Android. It even kept large folders like Harmony OS does, and features like knuckle-based screenshots. You can quickly get used to the pre-installed apps. The essential ones come with no extra bundleware. He was really happy about this. Camera and speaker are average. 1080p video recording has some lagging. Music playback is a bit distorted, but he gets that you can't expect too much at this price. What surprised him was Bluetooth auto-detects devices and prompts you to connect. No need to set it up manually. That caught his attention. He downloaded Genshin Impact to test. Expected the Snapdragon 660 to lag, but was surprised it ran at around 30 FPS on low to medium settings. Occasional frame drops but didn't affect gameplay. His higher-spec Xiaomi 6 could also smoothly run it for over half an hour. Phone just got slightly warm, but battery life was weak for a 288 yuan phone. Got a low battery warning in under an hour, even with 18 West. Charging was also slow. Still, the overall experience beat his expectations. He immediately posted a review on a tech forum, praising Batty One as the king of cost performance. Easily outclasses Android phones under 1,500 yuan. Meanwhile, Li Shuthan, a left-behind woman in a remote rural village, also received her Batty One, bought by someone on her behalf. Her husband, Zhao Tizhu, works in Guang City as a migrant laborer. They rarely see each other all year round. In the past, she had to borrow a neighbor's phone to reach him. She only bought a phone to video chat with her family. Her neighbor helped set it up for her. She texted her son's teacher, found out her son's studies were going well, and she felt a sense of peace. Over dinner, she told her in-laws she had bought a phone. Her mother-in-law quickly said, "You bought a phone? That must have been expensive." Father-in-law put down his chopsticks and asked if it could be returned. If possible, just return it. That's thousands of yuan. Save it for your grandson's tutoring fees. We don't call anyway. We've gotten by all these years, haven't we? Li Shefan explained. Mom, this phone isn't expensive. It's only 288, just make a little less cured pork this year. Now I can see Tiju every day. Isn't that wonderful? Mother-in-law unsure asked, what phone is that cheap? I remember hearing about those super cheap phones for 100 or two. They can't do video calls. They can only make phone calls. This one's the Batty phone. Yeah. It's the same brand as the neighbor's TV and washing machine. Cheap and works well. Yes, you can video call, Li Shefan affirmed. That brand stuff is solid. Mother-in-law was relieved. Let's test the video call tonight. If it doesn't work, then we should return it right away. At 7 p.m., Li Shefan called Zhao Tiju. The whole family crowded around the phone, nervous and excited. Hello, who are you? A rough voice came from Zhao Tiju on the other end. Tiju, it's me. Li Shufan's voice trembled with emotion. Tiju, can you hear me? Son, are you off work now? Was work tiring today? The in-laws interrupted anxiously. Whose phone are you borrowing? Zhao Tiju asked curiously. This is the new phone we bought for home. From now on, we'll use this for calls. How much did you pay for the phone? Zhao Tiju sounded a little annoyed. He thought she was wasting money. 288. Really cheap, right? Li Shefan replied, a bit proud. 288? You're missing a zero, right? Zhao Tiju didn't believe her at all. Li Shefan said,
It really is, I swear.
Fine, we'll talk about it later. Tiju, do you have WeChat on your phone? If you do, let's add each other in video chat. We can use the neighbor's Wi-Fi, so it won't cost anything. I have WeChat. Wait, what's your username? Let me add you. It took the couple over half an hour and multiple questions for their neighbor before they finally became friends on WeChat. When the video call connected, the couple saw each other from across the screen. Li Shufan's eyes filled with tears. She just kept silently thanking Batty phone in her heart. The family chatted for over an hour, until Zhao Tiju's old phone finally died. He looked at the shattered spiderweb screen, angrily tossed his useless old phone onto his bedding. This phone really sucks. His bunkmate poked his head out. Then just get a new one. They're not that expensive. Showing off his own Redmi that cost over 1,000 yuan. 1,000 is too much. Zhao Tiju couldn't bring himself to spend it. He remembered the Batty brand his wife mentioned, and texted her to confirm which phone it was. He asked his buddy Zhao Wang for help. Zhao Wang couldn't find it on JD.com. Finally found it on Pinduoduo when he saw the 288 yuan price tag.
He couldn't help but mock Zhao.
That's gotta be a knockoff. It'll probably run slow as a PowerPoint. What's a PowerPoint phone? Means it's really laggy. It'll stutter like crazy. Anyway, never buy ultra-cheap phones like that. They're always rip-offs. No, my wife and I just video chatted with that Batty phone. She said it works great. So just buy it for me. I can't afford anything else. Zhao Tiju insisted. All right. You can owe me this money for now. Pay me back when you get your next paycheck. Let me say this first. If this turns out to be bad, don't blame me. Zhao Wang reminded him after placing the order. Relax, it's definitely good. The phone was delivered 2 days later. While Zhao Wang helped Zhao Tiju install the SIM card, he couldn't resist joking. But the phone booted up in just 10 seconds. Its smooth operation surprised him. Zhao Tiju logged into WeChat for a video call with his wife. It was clear and smooth. The couple talked for another half hour. Zhao Tiju was overjoyed. That evening, he bought chives to share with his coworkers. His coworkers were tempted after trying it out. Dozens of people asked Zhao Wang to place orders for them. Batty quickly became popular in the factory dorm area. Batty dominated with its affordability and usability. It quickly captured the low-end market. It squeezed out phones priced below 1,500 yuan. Other brands' low-end models saw their sales drop sharply. People started buying Batty to study it. Tech blogger Wang Dachui also noticed this phone. During his live review of budget phones, he insisted on including it. He added Batty to the comparison. He wanted to enhance the show with it. In the live stream, Wang Dachui and Beauty Leg tested it together. They introduced phones sorted by price. When it was Batty's turn, he emphasized that Batty is no ordinary phone. Its price reached 288 yuan. Yet it had a self-developed operating system just like Huawei. And soon, we'll especially evaluate its system. Let's see what's different between it and Harmony OS, Android, or iOS. Viewers started commenting immediately. Harmony OS has been in development for years. So many talents and billions invested.
Finally created Harmony OS.
But this unheard of Batty brand actually claims to have its own system. If their so-called system isn't just Android with a different skin, I'll eat my phone. Another viewer joked. Wake up, man. Someone already ate a phone-shaped cake at a launch event. Eating phones as a gag is old news. Suggest you eat something else. Maybe consider durian, or a cold dish of black garlic and stinky tofu. Wang Dachui quickly changed the topic. Announced the items for review. Today we'll evaluate several aspects. First is system boot time. This time refers to after activation, powering off, then powering back on. Let's welcome our studio team. Each will time 2 phones simultaneously, once timing starts. The higher the specs, the faster the boot. And Batty booted up in just 12 seconds. Comparable to phones priced at 2,000 yuan. Wang Dachui deliberately asked Leg, did you make a timing mistake here? No mistake. I watched carefully. Check the playback if you don't believe me. Leg replied. Next is the lag-free test. Staff installed popular apps on all phones. Opened them one by one without closing each, until lag appeared. Among 100 yuan phones, only Batty lasted. All others lagged out and were eliminated quickly. Even the 1,000 yuan models soon failed. Even the more than 2,000 yuan Samsung wasn't spared. Only 2 high-end models and Batty remained, making it to the end, until they opened Kuaishou. Only then did Batty show slight lag. It took 3rd place. In the benchmark test, Batty's score was similar to other 100 yuan models, falling behind the 1,000 yuan phones. Viewers suddenly realized that with such a low scoring configuration, it could still win 3rd place in the lag-free competition. Doesn't that mean Batty's system is really impressive?
Its optimization is strong.
Viewers demanded a deep review of the Zhuan and V system, so Wang Dachui adjusted the segment and introduced. Batty's specs are average. Snapdragon 660 processor, 364 GB memory, comparable to Xiaomi 6 from years ago, maybe even lower. But the user experience is worlds apart. When he tested Genshin Impact, Batty could maintain around 30 FPS at medium-low settings. Frames dropped occasionally, but gameplay was fine. Far better than other phones at the same price. In later tests, Batty only supported 4G external audio. The sound quality was average. No Wi-Fi support. 6 cameras but underwhelming. Battery capacity is just 2,800 mAh. But Bluetooth smart connection is very considerate. Unexpectedly good battery life. Wang Dachui gave it a high rating. If money is tight, Batty is completely sufficient. Its performance rivals 1,000 yuan phones. This livestream triggered a buying frenzy among viewers. It also unexpectedly stirred up the second-hand phone market. Prices of 1,000 yuan second-hand phones plummeted. Phone sellers suffered heavy losses, quietly attracted plenty of haters for Batty. And Batty's popularity kept rising. It firmly established itself in the low-end phone world.